The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping.
Stunner! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people. Indiana, on this NBA Finals, Wednesday, June 11th. This program starts right now.
Finals
are happening for the first time here in Indianapolis, Indiana, in 9,126 days. It hasn't been since the year 2000 that this beautiful state of basketball has hosted an NBA Finals with this beautiful piece of hardware on the line. To be clear, this one behind me, not real. This one, actual Larry O'Brien trophy. I will...
Do it. Do it.
Don't be scared.
Do it.
You got it.
Yes. Woo.
So shiny.
I don't love it, but last year I didn't touch it, and the Pacers lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. This year, I get an opportunity to touch this beautiful gold piece of legacy-making hardware that'll transform this city into not only being the state of basketball, but the franchise of basketball. Tonight, in a series that's tied 1-1, where the Pacers won into Oklahoma City, stole game one, lose game two. Tonight, our city is going to be on display as Gainbridge Fieldhouse is about to be upside down. SGA is obviously a living legend who is an MVP and a superstar in this league for a long time. There's a lot of beasts on that Oklahoma City team, but in this city, on this day, in this state, I think tonight's going to be a great time. The man talking shit right there is a 13-year NBA veteran, friend of the program, co-host of the Knuckleheads podcast, ESPN NBA analyst, ladies and gentlemen, Quentin Richardson.
Yeah, Rich.
Mixed. Rich and Darius Miles, who's 6'100", made his trip up here to Indiana this morning to celebrate this NBA Finals. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. I appreciate you, boy.
Good to be here, man. Finals.
Good shirts.
Let's go.
Ty Schmidt, you're from Iowa. The NBA Finals are obviously something that you've looked forward to your entire life. But now that you're here, the energy is palpable throughout the city. Is it not, Ty?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you know, the Eastern Conference Finals, that was one thing. That was sweet. We're talking about the NBA Finals here, okay? You talked about legacies being made. As soon as we're done with Game 2, all the talking heads, hey, Tyrese Halliburton, this guy's not a superstar. See, we talked about it. He can't do it against the big guns in Oklahoma City. I'm so excited for Tyrese to maybe, you know, have another, 30-point triple-double tonight. I think that's coming. I think it's in the air. I really do.
We'll have a conversation about this Pacers team with Charania here in a matter of moments. One half of the Hammer Dahn Cowboys. AP Tone is here. Tone, what are the lines we should be looking at for tonight's Game 3 of the NBA Finals?
Tonight's line is -5.5 to Oklahoma City Thunder. Once again, the Pacers are being disrespected. They were disrespected in Game 1 with that line, and they won that one. They are once again dogs at home. They have not won a Game 3 yet. OKC has not covered as a favorite on the road yet. Something is going to give tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And 9-year NFL vet, a man who calls Indianapolis one of his homes, travels here for 4 days a week, all year round to do this particular program, was a legendary member of the Indianapolis Colts. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius J. Butler.
Energy out here is crazy, man.
D-Butch, it's great energy in Indianapolis. There's a lot going on around here, including the official transfer of power of the Indianapolis Colts to the Irsay daughters.
Yes.
Casey and Kaylin and Carly did their first press conference yesterday. I had no idea what to expect. of this new generation of Indianapolis Colts.
Yep.
What were Carly, Kalen, and Casey going to be like as owners? Feels like they are setting a tone early about the standard. Then you got the Pacers doing their thing. The Fever are going to get Caitlin Clark back soon. Yeah. It feels like Indianapolis is becoming the sports hub that it's always been known to be.
Trending in the right direction. And tonight, man, the energy that I know is going to be in the building. I can feel it already out here. The energy is going to be crazy. The team brings it. The team always brings the juice. We stole one in OKC. Well, I'm saying we because, you know, I'm here.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a Heat fan. Through and through. But I am a Yes Sirs fan as it is right now. So I'm excited.
Yes, sir.
I am. Tonight I am. Hey, it's a big. I love that shirt you got on. Love the shirt the boys got on. It's a big moment for Hallie, man, because the superstar conversation is out there, and this is when your team needs it most, and this is when you step up and really make a name and a legacy for yourself and the whole program as a whole.
Okay, Quentin Richardson, let's talk about this. The NBA talking heads have an interesting way of doing things. Mm-hmm. You know, the old heads for a long time hated the game that is now. Too soft, too weak. These guys aren't this. Now the whole conversation has become who are the superstars of the league. Whenever you have two young superstars leading two young teams to the finals, it feels like a lot of the old heads, especially in sports media, have not come to respect them yet. Is that an accurate depiction of how Tyrese and SGA are kind of being talked about at this moment? Or what are your thoughts on that whole superstar narrative that's being talked about right now?
Yeah, from when I played in the league, man, that word wasn't such a lightning rod. We looked at it as players the way, even now, the way I look at it when I talk to my peers, me and D, are you an all-star? Are you all NBA? Were you an Olympian?
What?
Do you got a max deal?
What?
Super max?
What?
If you got all of them, you can call me what you want. You can call me what you want. If I got a super max, if I'm an all-star, if I'm an Olympian, you can call me whatever you want. The bottom line is I'm doing the same things that the superstars and the all-stars are doing. I'm right there with them. So you can call me what you want to call me, but I'm here.
How do you feel about Tyrese Halliburton? Last year, leads a team to an improbable Eastern Conference final. They get swept. This year, they come back. Coach Carlisle, obviously an absolute dog, a wizard on the chalkboard, and also his culture and his motivation. Pascal Siakam has been a beautiful trade last year to fit into this culture. Feels like Nembhard can go. Neesmith can go. Literally the entire team can go. Tyrese Halliburton, though, is the, I don't want to say the engine, but basically the straw that stirs the entire drink. How do you feel about how Tyrese is handling the job that he has been put in? And how do you think he is doing with his Pacers team?
I kind of look at him like when I played for the Phoenix Suns in 05. Steve Nash, it was the proverbial star that stirred the drink. We had all of these guys that could score and everything, but if it wasn't for Steve distributing the ball and making things go the way it went, we weren't as good. That's what these Pacers are. If Hallie isn't being the Hallie, the great version of himself, they're going to struggle because a lot of those guys rely on him to deliver the ball and set them up and to get them those shots. And when you have a team like that that's predicated off that, when they stop him, it kind of stunts everything else, and they got to go to plan B and figure things out.
Yeah, Miles Turner, obviously a man name that I mentioned or didn't mention in that group. He's been here 11 years, has been a phenomenal Pacer. Yeah. He's up, I think, after this year. We'll talk to Shams about that here in a matter of moments. Let's pivot now to the Oklahoma City Thunder. SGA is unbelievable. This guy. So I wanted to believe the narrative that everything he did was bullshit. I wanted to believe the narrative that he was the free throw merchant, that he was a foul artist and everything like that. Watching him play against the Pacers, he might get to the foul line, but he's not like that as his entire game. He is a weapon. Coach Carlisle actually said, you can put 34 points down on the score sheet for Shea before the game even begins. Do teams just concede that? Like, hey, we know SGA is going to get his points. How do we stop everybody else? Or what is the mindset you think for that, stopping that offense?
I mean, that's what he's become. If you look at it, this is his third season in a row averaging over 30 points. He's entering a class where only Wilt, Kobe, Michael, those type of dudes. And when you start putting in boxes and classes with those guys, he's put himself in that position. Like he scored 20 points over 60 times, 25 over 65, 30 over like 4. He's showing that it does not matter. No one in the league can stop me. I can get 30 on anybody. He's literally going about his business that way. And if he has an off night, it could probably be like 24, 26. He's put himself in that position now.
Yeah, everybody compares Tyrese's stats to like SGA's and everybody else. Two different roles on the team?
Absolutely. Two different players. They don't even do the same thing.
So whenever people talk about Tyrese and they immediately go to points, how do basketball heads feel about that conversation?
I think they bring it up because there's that stat sitting out there of when he scores 20 points, the record that the Pacers have. And I mean, that's that's a good point. But I mean, at the same time, who is Tyrese Halliburton? How many points has he averaged for his career? He's not a 20, like he can, but that's not really what it is for him. He's a ball distributor. He's an extension of the coach on the floor. He gets everything right and gets everybody situated and put people in places where they can score.
I think you said yesterday or maybe a couple days ago, I forget, you said people see Hallie hitting these game-winning shots and they're like, oh, this guy is a scorer. That's what he is. It's like he can score.
Yeah.
He is certainly a dog in clutch time. I think the stats are going to come out after this season that he's maybe one of the greatest clutch players in the history of basketball, but that's not his mind. His mindset is how can we get the entire team rolling, and they've certainly been able to do that.
I think his over/under on assists tonight is 9.5 or 8.5. So like that, I mean, that's all season long. He is the highest in that category, and then his points is 16.5, 17.5. So it's like the sports books knows what he is. A lot of people know what he is, but I think you're so right. Like him hitting all these game winners makes people think like he's filling up 30 points a night.
They want more. Yeah.
And the thing about Hallie, he's been historically efficient over the run.
Yep.
So obviously against this OKC defense, it's been a lot tougher. And you talk about SGA, what he's been doing on the offensive end, obviously the MVP, but he's a beast on that defensive end too. He gets his hands on a lot of basketballs. That whole team they get grind, they suffocate you, and if they keep it going, they're a tough team to beat. But Holly got to be efficient, and I think he does have to be a little bit more aggressive early on if you really want to beat this Thunder team.
If you look at what the Thunder do, listen to the post-game comments of Anthony Edwards. He's a 30-point dude, and he was like, I can't get no shots. And he was like, I don't feel like I'm playing bad. I can't get attempts. I can't get field goal attempts because the way they're guarding me. When you look, it's hard for you as a scorer to when you cross that half court and you look at the basket and you see 4 other sets of eyes, you see arms in the lane and
Bopping
everybody.
Wood, yeah, they are. I understand what you're saying. Oklahoma City bops a lot of wood.
Pause that, but yes, they do. They do. They listen. They like, and then like, have you looked at Lou Dort?
Yeah, the torture chamber. That's one of the greatest nicknames of all time.
You know what house? That is
a brick what? What is it? A brick machine, like he shoots bad shots?
No, he is. Listen, that dude is a unit, and he can, like you said, he can move. He can move. He can move his feet out there. Like for him to be that big and strong, he shouldn't be able to guard Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay, so if the Pacers win all their home games going forward, they win an NBA title, right? They stole home court advantage by winning Game 1. That is just a matter of fact. So if they win tonight, obviously if they win Friday night and then they win Game 6, which I believe is next Thursday maybe, they just have to win their home games.
Yeah.
How important is home court advantage? And obviously the Pacers have been able to go into other people's barns and get wins, but it feels like with what Oklahoma City's fan base can bring and what I think tonight is going to be like in Gainbridge, is it a mental advantage? What is you sleep at your own house? Like why is home court such a big deal whenever it comes to basketball?
I think it's more so it comes down to the fans. It comes down to the fans and you being in your building. I think, you know what I'm saying, that's why guys work so hard to get the best record during the season so they can have that. Because when you're, like, if all else fails, that crowd can ignite you. You feeling down, you doing this or that. They get T.J. McConnell to come in and make a little diving play, and the crowd goes nuts. And then, like, that can really ignite teams, and teams can draw from that. So I think, to me, that's the biggest difference when you talk about the difference in home court advantage. Like that, especially when you got a fan base like here in Indiana and a fan base like there in OKC. These are two of the better, like, more college-y atmosphere teams that we have in the league.
Okay, so OKC, I think Coach Carlisle even mentioned it whenever he said that our fans are going to have to show up tonight for Game 3. He said we would get on a little bit of a run, and then Oklahoma City fans would not relent. Yeah. Like it was like it would continue, and then almost you felt like them fighting momentum for the team. And then the hoop can look bigger, I assume, whenever you're at home and you get rolling.
The fact of the matter is, these are you play here more. Like all of the other arenas you go to once or twice here or there, you play here all the time, so you used to it. You used to the depth perception behind the rim, everything that's in the arena. It's just you just more locked into it because you're here all year playing.
Yeah, and you got John Mellencamp sitting there for
exactly. I don't know if that's happening.
Yo, Diddy, about Jack and Diane. Still a heater. Let's never forget that. Go ahead,
it was like we were talking about after Game 2, though. Like there were a couple moments in that game where the Pacers would hit a couple threes and they'd cut the lead to like 12, and it was like, oh, okay, here comes the run. And because it was in OKC and the crowd was still behind them, like boom, Thunder go on an 8-0 run quick and kind of just squash it, and it gets back to 20. And it was kind of like that the entire game. You felt like, hey, if this is in Indiana, if this was at Gainbridge, like that 12-point lead, maybe they, get a couple more steals and cut that down to 6, and then now we got a real game. But instead, every time the Pacers got a little momentum, OKC went right back down and got a bucket immediately.
Got some stats from Hembo here on basketball efficiency for the Pacers in this particular series.
Sure.
The Pacers have led for a total of 1 minute, 53 seconds, and a third.
Damn.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That gets it done.
Pacers shooting has been night and day this series when the ball moves with energy. Shooting off passes, they're 51 of 92 for 55%.
Okay.
Shooting not off pass, they're 25 of 72, 35%, which is what you're talking about with the Oklahoma City defense. We're able to move with pace against a lot of teams. Feels like this Oklahoma City team has been able to match.
Yeah.
So whenever Oklahoma City scores, or whenever the Knicks scored, or when the Bucks scored, or when the Cavs scored, we were able to push that thing down the court, and the other team had no idea. They just scored 2, bang, we just knocked on a 3 because we're able to move with efficiency. It's like the Oklahoma City team gets back. They're able to run. They like focus on the defensive end and making it difficult. They obviously also have Dejanot, who's a great coach. Indiana's done a great job defensively when grinding out Oklahoma City possessions. The Thunder have shot 1 for 17 in games 1 and 2 in the final 6 seconds of the shot clock. So if the Pacers make Oklahoma City earn it, feels like Oklahoma City's going to miss it a little bit. Will Indiana win in transition tonight, asks Hembo. They've scored 23 transition points in games 1 and 2. That is 9 points fewer than their per-game average entering the finals, which is exactly what I just chatted about. And will Tyrese Halliburton get anything easy tonight, asks Hembo. In 73 minutes in games 1 and 2, he's drawn only 2 fouls.
Yeah.
He has not attempted a single free throw.
Wow. A lot more.
Wow. Feels like these refs are working a little bit. And then the Thunder playoff scoring margin when they're home, plus 236.
Jeez.
When they're on the road, minus 48.
Ooh.
They are 0-7 against the spread on the road, 8-3 against the spread at home. And that's because the away fan bases making it rough on them. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is senior NBA insider for ESPN, friend of the program, a man who has incredible hair, and he's very handsome. Friend of the program, Charania.
Hey. What's up, Shams?
Get it,
Outstanding,
Shams.
sir.
Sir, good to see you, man.
You just want to mess my hair up.
Crown the king.
The hair still looks good, brother. The hair still looks good, brother.
I appreciate the sunglasses, by the way. My eyes are very sensitive to the sun.
Yeah, you're a journalist. We understand there's some softness in this entire thing. Shams, welcome back to Indianapolis, Indiana. We're thankful to have you.
Look at the fans.
Look at them.
There's a lot more people than last time, but
I agree.
It was fun being here 2 weeks ago. I'm glad to be back.
I agree. A couple weeks ago, whenever we did this, we gave about a 12 to 24-hour heads up to the city. And, a lot of people have jobs out here in Indiana. This is a working city.
Blue collar.
The fact that people showed up for us, we're very appreciative of. And also, this backdrop here is maybe the nicest in the city. Shout out to Gainbridge. Shout out to the Pacers. Shout out to the Simons doing all this for the city. Like, they're rebuilding the city almost downtown. Got a new restaurant over here, a new area. I mean,
Fever facility.
the Pacers are really doing it here, so we're thankful. But anyways, let's get to tonight. Any news that we need to know about heading into Game 3 of the NBA Finals, Shams Charania?
So, what we saw in Game 2, and really in Game 1 as well, is like Oklahoma City, their defense absolutely stifling. The one thing obviously that caught my eye, Tyrese Halliburton was limping after the game in Oklahoma City. He wasn't on the injury report. Everything I hear, there's no concern about his status tonight. All the feel is he's fine. He's going to be good to go. But what did catch my eye again is him limping right there. And he said he had a lower body injury. I did some digging on it. I am told it is an ankle issue, some soreness that he's dealing with. But listen, Pat, around this time of year, and Q Rich knows this late into the playoffs, guys are going to be dealing with all kinds of nicks and bruises and all kinds of different things. But this is an ankle issue for Tyrese Halliburton that obviously he's going to play through. He's at 3 days in between games. He's going to be a go tonight.
Okay, so we should not be worried about Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton told us, don't worry about him yesterday. So I don't expect to be, this to be an issue. But again, this is something to keep an eye on.
Okay, thank God. Thank God, especially with how much shit has been talked about Tyrese Halliburton over the last couple of days. This feels like a Tyrese Halliburton game.
Yeah. 21 points pretty much and 10 assists when they win in the playoffs. It is like 12 points and 6-7 assists when they lose. So the point being, they haven't lost much this playoffs. And so having him play at that elite level, obviously very important for this Pacers team to win tonight.
Agreed. Anything out of the Oklahoma City camp, or are they completely healthy and ready to go?
They're ready to go, but one thing we saw after they make that big change,
completely healthy,
putting in Case and Wallace into the starting lineup to start the series, I think that was a shock not only to people in the series, fans around the series, executives that are watching the series, but they kept that starting lineup in Game 2. And Mark Daigneault, the Thunder coach, he's changed the lineup so much this year.
What's his name?
Mark Daigneault. But we kind of nicknamed
what you just said.
I think
Daigneault.
Oh. But I think we gave him the nickname Dags.
Dags.
Oh yeah.
I think
Mark
to kind of simplify it for us here. But
for who? You're saying for us simpletons?
Listen, Pat, you butchered his name.
I tried. I tried my best. I didn't butcher it as bad as Connor did a couple weeks ago.
I don't know.
But nonetheless, Coach Dags changed the starting lineup. He sticks with it. We assume he's going to do the same thing.
And he stuck with it in Game 2 too. I think there was even some thought there, like, okay, I was on the ground in Oklahoma City. There was some thought, okay, he must be going back to Isaiah Hartenstein, going back to that double big lineup. But he stuck with it. I expect it to be the same, but this is a coach that is always going to try things. What I love about the Thunder is from 1 to really 10, 11, 12 deep on this roster, they're willing to go into their depth. Kenrich Williams, Jalen Williams, these guys sometimes barely ever play, but they can play. Jalen Williams can get triple doubles. Aaron Wiggins wasn't much of a factor in Game 1, comes in basically as a hero in Game 2.
Okay, so let's talk about some things from this series that'll be off-season conversations. Obviously, Miles Turner. He has been here for 11 years. We love him here in Indiana. He cut a promo after winning the Eastern Conference Finals. That was wonderful. I think he's done great things in the city. We believe he is up, I think, if our last conversation is accurate. What does it look like for Miles Turner going forward? I assume a lot of people are going to want Big Miles on their squad. How old is he, and what does it look like this offseason?
He's going to be a free agent, and it's crazy. He's essentially, what's his exact age? Do we have it? He's 29?
29. He's been here for 11 years.
11 years, so clearly a guy that is still young in age, very young in this league. There's going to be a couple teams that are going to look at him. The issue this offseason, there's one team with salary cap space, and that's the Brooklyn Nets. And so what other teams make sense from a sign and trade perspective? I do know of a couple teams at least that are looking into sign and trade possibilities. But listen, the Indiana Pacers know they need to have Miles Turner back. They can't afford to lose him. So he is in line for a big payday this offseason. I expect the Pacers to do everything they can to keep him. There's mutual interest.
You see how surprised Q-Rich is? He's never seen this many white people on beat. That was incredible work by you guys.
There is mutual interest, but Pat, the most interesting thing to me is the Indiana Pacers have not paid the luxury tax since the 2005-2006 season. By giving Miles Turner a deal that he's likely going to be in line for, they will be entering the luxury tax for the first time in 20 years. I'm told the organization is prepared and expecting to pay the luxury tax next season.
Hell yeah, Simon.
Back-to-back conference finals runs this season. I think they want to give this core a chance. Win or lose in this finals, they want to give this core a chance to try to get back again next year. Get back again the year after that.
We're going to win. Thanks. I don't need to win or lose.
I'm just being realistic.
Ty has a question for you.
Shams, there are some reports that came out that said, hey, there's a good chance KD is going to be moved within like the next couple weeks here. And then we started hearing, hey, guess what? He wants to go to the Knicks, even though they don't have a head coach. What do you know about the KD situation, and where do we stand right now?
The Kevin Durant situation is ever since the NBA trade deadline, I think everyone around the league understood this is someone that's going to likely be on the move. And I'm told the Suns, Kevin Durant's business representative and boardroom CEO, Rich Kleiman, they're working on his trade as we speak. The teams that are mainly featured right now that have interest in Kevin Durant to trade for him, this is ongoing interest, and I think this is the focus right now. It's the Houston Rockets, the San Antonio Spurs, the Miami Heat, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the New York Knicks. I do expect potentially some wild card teams to get in the mix as well. Because listen, this is Kevin Durant. For him to be on the market, he's the biggest domino right now that's fully available on the market. And last season we saw his play. I mean, he was one of just a few players. He's the best mid-range shooter in the league, the best shooter off the dribble, the best shooter when you have a defender in front of you in the mid-range show. He's still playing at an elite level, obviously wants to compete for a championship. But those 5 teams, I'm told that's the focus of the trade conversations right now. Talks are going to pick up and escalate between now and the NBA draft, June 25th. One other thing that's going to be a key point here, he's entering the final year of his deal at over $50 million. So whether he wants to extend, what his future is, that is also going to play a part.
Okay, so the Pacers obviously are so focused on winning a title, we haven't got a chance to really dive into Kevin Durant coming to Indiana. We'd love to have you here, KD. The Durantula would be great in Indiana. Also with Tyrese, all KD's got to do, him and Neesmith just chilling. I mean,
corner.
We got great apartments here downtown, Kevin Durant. We got great food here. Yeah. And we got a team that works their asses off. So I think you would love it here. But out of those teams you just mentioned, what do you think is the most intriguing or most likely?
Well, you look at Houston, obviously they made a good run to the playoffs this year for the first time since 2000. I think they're a team that has the potential pieces to make a deal happen. San Antonio is an interesting one as well. And there was mutual interest between Kevin Durant and both of those teams at the NBA trade deadline. There's been interest with the Timberwolves as well. But
that would be Ant, right? Minnesota?
I mean, if you're the Timberwolves and you can keep Anthony Edwards, and you can keep Naz Reid, you can keep Jaden McDaniels potentially to make a deal, I think that would be appealing for them. And then the Knicks, they did make an offer, from what I'm told, at the NBA trade deadline. Of course, no deal happened then. But the Knicks are going to be a team that could get involved, that are involved here, and could make offers again. And Miami, that is another team that I'm told has been engaged with the Suns over the last week. DB's team.
Whatever. Yes.
I expect
I'm a Pacers fan, kid. Hey.
If you can bring Kevin Durant in with Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, I think that's another thing where if you're Miami, you can compete. And this is a factor as well. I know the Pacers are in the East. We're not trying to talk down on the East, but there are some teams in the Eastern Conference that are viewing this conference as wide open. And if you can go get a Kevin Durant.
It's not wide open.
If you can get a Kevin Durant, who's a Kevin Durant away? That's going to be the question that people are going to have to ask.
All right, you mentioned the Knicks there. Q has a question for you.
Yeah, it's a lot of talk. I mean, obviously, they after the season, they let go of Tibbs. So what are you hearing about the Knicks coaching situation? Who's going to be the next coach for the Knicks?
What I keep hearing from people around the league, Q, is like, what are the Knicks doing, right?
What are they doing?
When you fire a coach who made it to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years, and you don't really, it doesn't seem like they had a direct path to a coach, whether it's someone that's available like a Taylor Jenkins, a Michael Malone, a Mike Brown, whether it's a coach from another team. Like, this is not the first time a coach from another team might move. But as I reported last night and this morning, the Knicks made permission requests over the last 24, 48 hours on Chris Finch of the Minnesota Timberwolves, Ime Udoka of the Houston Rockets, and this morning, Jason Kidd of the Dallas Mavericks. All three were given swift denials. I'm told. I'm told. Like these were the reactions. Teams are saying no, hanging up. Teams are saying F no. Teams are saying, like, having the owner call and say, what is, like, we're not doing this. And so I think like those were the reactions that I heard from those three denials. And so now the Knicks, where they're going to go from here, I think one thing, they're going to keep an open mind on all these candidates. I do give them credit for trying to see what could be out there with some of these available coaches. But again, this is a very unorthodox process by the Knicks in their front office and James Dolan, that ownership group. But if they end up with a coach that they wanted, you know, from the beginning, maybe it's someone we know.
What about you, Shams? Why don't you go coach him?
Not a big idea. Big city Shams.
I don't understand how they fire Tibbs and you don't have a guy. And you asking guys that are already under contract with somebody, that's beyond me.
How do those calls usually go? Like, hey,
has anyone been traded?
It's usually, can we have permission to interview
your head coach?
Right. Your head coach.
Who's the last coach to get traded?
All of these guys had multiple seasons on their contract left. And yeah, you're right. Jason Kidd got traded from the Brooklyn Nets to the Milwaukee Bucks over a decade ago for second-round draft compensation. Wow. This time around, Dallas said, no, Jason Kidd is staying with the Mavericks. He's not going anywhere.
I don't know if now would be the time for Jason Kidd to want to leave the Mavs. I think if you talk to him middle of the season after they trade Luka away, I think you could have got him potentially out of there. But with what they're building, shout to Nico down there too, by the way. Nico might have this whole thing figured out. Like, legitimately, down in Dallas, they might have a squad. Jason leaving right before that would be wild. I appreciate the fact that James Dolan is basically just seemingly flying by the seat of his pants right now. We'll find the right guy. We'll get it done. Q Rich, I have a question for you. Tibbs gets fired because do coaches get fired in the NBA because players don't like the coach? I don't understand like the power structure of how this works. Tibbs got fired because Dolan didn't like him. What do you think the thoughts are on how or why he got removed?
I don't know the real answer to that, but I mean, from everything that you're hearing, and it sounds like that came from above. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When you hear from the players, they all signed off on loving Tibbs, like Jalen Brunson and company. But from what I hear from it, you know, the streets is talking. It sounded like Dolan wanted it to be done. It sounded like he wanted it to be over with, and he wanted to go in a different direction.
Because like Denver firing their coach and GM when they did 8 days before the playoffs started, or whatever. It's like, who did that? How did that come to be? And then now I guess you're still asking questions. Because in my eyes, the way I view the basketball league, basketball players is like they're in charge. Like the head superstar on the team has more power than everybody else. I'm not saying that's different than the NFL with quarterbacks. I think there's a select amount of quarterbacks that obviously have more say than anybody else. But in the NBA, it feels like the superstars have more power than maybe any other sport. So it's like whenever Malone gets fired, I just assume, well, the players had to sign off on this for this to happen. But we never really get an answer either.
New York is a very special place, though. So I don't know if all of the rules that go for everybody else go for them.
Happened in Memphis, though.
It's a different place.
Memphis did it right before the playoffs.
Denver did it. But listen, Denver, Josh Kroenke in that organization, the governor there, he put his name on it. He's been in the media. He's been very upfront about why they did it, and listen, it led to some success. He felt like the team wasn't going to make a run unless they made a change. They made the change. They got to the second round, 1 game away from the Western Conference Finals. This is a different situation. There hasn't been much, of course, coming out of the Knicks, but listen, they have always moved in shadow. They've always moved in this cloak of secrecy, but now is a point where you get denied by 3 teams in the span of 24 hours.
Yikes.
And like to get 3 coaching denials in the span of 24 hours, that's not something that bodes well.
Desirable, yeah, that's not a desirable favor.
What did you expect?
See, that's the thing, is like these coaches are under.
You can't expect that you're about to go take somebody's head coach and they just gonna say, sure, take him. Like, what? No.
I think these teams are taking offense to it to an extent.
As they should.
That's my feel for it.
As they should.
Because, again, these guys are under contract. Whoa.
That's how a lot of people feel. Now, I'm not saying that's how we feel, but there's a chance. The words of others do not necessarily reflect the words of ours. But with that being said, there's a lot of people that feel that way, and it sounds like there's more teams starting to feel that way as they continue to try to poach their player. Duck New York, I agree.
I duck them too.
You got to duck them.
Exactly.
You got to duck and move.
Coaches are.
With the Knicks. D-Bud has a question for you, Sean.
Yeah, you talked about KD being on the move, obviously the other big fish, and I think the last time you were here, you pegged this as the most craziest offseason ever. Giannis.
Yes, that was right. That was the proper wording.
So a lot probably hinges on Giannis Antetokounmpo and his future, right? And I know there's some comments, he made a broad. He's a guy that's always been loyal. If he can win in Milwaukee, he, of course, wants to win in Milwaukee. His biggest issue has been how does this team stay competitive and compete in the Eastern Conference, because there's going to be Damian Lillard's out for an extended period of time next season, if not the entire season. They have 1 first-round pick they can trade, and they don't have many high-value contracts. So can you bring some of your free agents back? Like the free agency of Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis will be very, very important to this team. Gary Trent is another guy that I think is going to be very important. Can they bring those 3 guys back to the fold? And how does that impact Giannis? Is there any other move you can make around the edges? I will say on Giannis Antetokounmpo, unlike Kevin Durant. Whoa.
I didn't know he had that.
I didn't expect
Bobby's got heat. Bobby Portis got heat.
I didn't expect this. Kevin Durant is someone that I expect around the draft there could be some movement with. Like, I think there's a very good chance Kevin Durant is traded before the NBA draft, June 25th. with Giannis Antetokounmpo, from what I'm told, his status will not be tied to the NBA draft. It won't be tied to free agency. It's much more likely that his future plays out into July and into August in terms of him seeing the landscape of not only the Bucks, seeing the landscape of the league, seeing what other teams do. I mean, listen, when you're a star of that caliber, the league moves how you want it to move. The league will move when you're ready to ask for a trade, or if you're ready to then say, I'm staying, I want to be back. Of course, around the league, there is a level of skepticism because Giannis Antetokounmpo has been loyal. He's been there 12 years. His brand is all about loyalty right now. So there's a level of skepticism. Does he really go through with it? There's a difference between being open-minded and, from what I'm told, exploring other options, actively exploring other options. There's a difference between doing that and asking for a trade. He's in the process of figuring out exactly what he wants to do.
Actively exploring other options. He's watching film of other teams, trying to see which team he could be the freight train.
You see what they're doing. 2K. You see where can I potentially get to that can make a deal with Milwaukee, that can make it happen. And then the biggest point is having to go in there and ask for a trade. I think everyone around the league looks at this summer as probably the period. If you're going to do it, it's now because of where they're at with their situation with the roster. They're depleted with their assets. And realistically, this is a team that's lost in the first round 3 years in a row. So can this team take a step to contend? So if you're staying now, you're probably looking at this as a lifer if you're Giannis.
Okay, and, go ahead, Q.
With his loyalty, though, don't you think by him even having this open like this kind of lets you know that I'm out the door? Because he never does this. He shuts it down almost every time. So to me, the fact that he's actually telling them that I'm exploring or doing whatever he's doing, to me, that's letting you know that, like, hey, I'm definitely like could do something right now.
I think the way the Bucks view this is something that they're fine with Giannis. Like, in their minds, he's always going to be exploring every year. What's his best path? And what the Bucks are kind of selling Giannis Antetokounmpo and what other teams have essentially been sold on as far as the Bucks' path is, you essentially take somewhat of a gap year, you retool this team. But from my understanding, I think John Horst and Doc Rivers genuinely believe this team can compete in the Eastern Conference. Now, whether you think it's that old adage that the East isn't where it probably, the West might be, whatever the case, they feel they can compete.
We'll see. The East might win
in the Eastern Conference.
Did you see this son of a bitch right here?
I get it. I'm just telling you how they feel. And the other point is also selling Giannis Antetokounmpo on. Can I hug it? Can I hug it?
Do it. Hoist it.
Wow. That thing is heavy, right? That can go real good or real bad for you.
I didn't touch it last year.
I'm just saying.
I didn't touch it last year.
That is a good point.
I wasn't around it last year.
The other thing, if you're the Bucks, is like what makes Giannis Antetokounmpo comfortable here. And one thing that they have pitched him on also is having the ball in his hands a lot more. Next season, he played, obviously, when you're playing with a guy like Damian Lillard, you're playing off the ball.
He ain't going nowhere.
He's a dog.
Dog. Hey, he's a good vibes guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Anytime I see him playing basketball, everybody's smiling.
If Giannis Antetokounmpo stays, I don't think there's going to be any surprise if Thanasis Antetokounmpo might be on this roster.
Okay, that's good news. All right, last question. We appreciate you taking the time to travel to Indianapolis. Obviously, it's your job. You're getting paid to do it, but you're the best. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Shams, I loved your last answer. My favorite part being when Q Rich looked over here at us like, you're the biggest idiot that's ever spoken about basketball. Definitely one of my favorite moments since you've been on. But
wait, what did I say?
I don't even know, to be honest. But if this is the most craziest offseason ever, Giannis and KD, that's cool. But are there dark horse teams? Are there dark horse players? Like, could we see a Donovan Mitchell type move where a team hasn't, gotten over the hump? A Mobley even with Cleveland. I know Scotty Barnes has been kind of throwing around some trade scenarios. Is there kind of other big name players and teams that might be trying to make a splash here?
I don't see those three that you mentioned right there, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Scotty Barnes. But there are always in every offseason, there's going to be wild card pieces. We'll see. I don't know them quite yet. That'll go on between now and the NBA draft. But I will tell you, like, you have the Giannis situation, and that's more of a slower burn, right? You have Kevin Durant, which I think is active as we speak. But the other big-ticket item, I think, this offseason is the Celtics, and what are they going to do? And the primary focus, from my understanding, with the Celtics offseason has been Jrue Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, Sam Hauser. Their trade markets.
Hauser?
Now, are teams making big offers and calling about Jaylen Brown and Derek White? 100%. The Celtics prefer not to trade him, from my understanding. But listen, if they get a big offer, they have to look at everything. And I think they're going to get offers on the three guys that they're focused on. They're going to get offers potentially on Derek White and Jaylen Brown. And I think between now and the draft and free agency, they're going to evaluate what makes sense from a value perspective, and that's where they're going to move.
Everybody but Tatum?
Essentially.
Okay. Big changes coming. Maybe Missoula is going down in New York.
He's staying. Pritchard staying. We're going to be
I'm not expecting that one, Pat.
All right. Anything going to take place today? Any more breaking news going to be coming out of the Charania Twitter account?
You never know, but if it is, I'm right there.
You're the man. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, senior NBA insider for ESPN.
The man in there.
Not a baby, Sean. You did do that, too, Yeah, you did do that. I saw that happen.
He broke out the fresh Alexander McQueen. Them brand new right there.
Hey, just real quick.
Get that height.
You thought he said something incredibly dumb? Why'd you give him a look about what?
No, it wasn't him saying anything incredibly dumb. No.
But just tell him.
It's when he said the Bucks can compete in the East and with the East.
Yeah, he was saying that it wasn't him saying it. He was saying that Doc Rivers really believes that Bucks team can compete in the East, and I don't really think they can with Dame Lillard not being there.
So you're saying the theory that was being hypothesized
was crazy to me. They can't compete without Dame.
Where do you think Giannis goes? His style of play, can it fit in everywhere or no?
Yeah, he anywhere. He can play anywhere.
He can play for the Pacers?
Anywhere. Pacers, the craziest thing is my destination for the best spot for Giannis and KD, in my opinion, is the same place. It's the Spurs. I think they can fit in seamlessly, and I think the Spurs have like assets where they don't have to completely deplete the roster and the team to where they can make the move and still have a team to compete with.
Connor's been pitching this trade proposal for Giannis with the Mavs, I think.
They should just trade the #1 pick for Giannis, just 1 for 1. They get Cooper Flag.
They're gonna need more than that. That ain't an equal trade.
Okay, but they're throwing a little sweetener. Maybe Gafford, maybe Klay Thompson. You throw something in there, but they're talking about Cooper Flag being a $500 to $1 billion type player as far as the market comes. Do they not think about that in these trades just because Giannis?
I don't think they're going to do that. I think Nico has had enough of the trading this year so far. I think he's going to just, the fans are pretty hyped about Cooper Flag. So,
ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a lad who went to Pike High School here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Currently the coach of them, NBA champion, all-star, host of the Club 520 podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff
Teague. Legend, absolute legend.
Pike High School, weak, huh?
Nah, we lit.
Weak.
Nah, we lit.
Hey, first of all, Jeff, thank you for representing Indianapolis, Indiana so damn well. You're a legend.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Give back to the city. 317's tatted right there on your forearm. I respect how much you've given back here and remained here, even though you didn't necessarily play here. With that being said, your Club 520 podcast is unbelievable.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, taking over right now, and you should be incredibly proud of that.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for adding to the sports media world. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for coaching your high school. And thank you for letting the world know that Indiana is a hoop state. I don't think a lot of people understand how many greats have come from this state and how serious basketball is. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Nah, basketball is everything here. You drive around the city, you'll see goals in every driveway, every backyard. Basketball is king here. And growing up here, playing basketball my whole life here, I think I'm a better basketball player than most people from like Chicago or any of those areas because I grew up.
Makes sense.
Damn, Q.
Oh, my fault, Q. I forgot he was here.
Q, where are you from?
Man, I'm from the Hunnids. Wild Hunnids, Chicago. Look, no disrespect, Indiana, Indianapolis, but like we not gonna do that. We not gonna do that. Like, Chi-Town pay these country boys nothing. You hear me? We listen now. Listen. Yeah. Chicago is a best. We breed that now.
Okay.
We do that.
We do too. Nah.
Pike High School, they won't no problem with Whitney Young High School. He knows it.
We're trying to set up a game actually where either y'all or Simeon.
It won't end well for y'all.
All right, let's talk about high school hoops here. The arenas here in Indiana, it's like 10, 15,000 for high school hoops.
Yeah.
How has it been getting back into coaching high school, and what are your thoughts?
Nah, it's been great. Every time we play, it's a sold-out gym. I get booed or they talk about the podcast every single time, but it's cool, man. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, giving back to the kids, I absolutely love that. But our team should be pretty good this year.
Okay.
So y'all won it all, right?
Nah, we haven't. It's some good teams here, you know.
What's your problem, Q?
I thought he won. Hey, okay.
We in real.
Y'all work in progress. Okay, I feel
rebuild.
You just got there.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Let's talk about this Pacers team.
Yeah.
Obviously, you understand the buzz that's around the city. Last year, Eastern Conference Finals, we get swept. Nobody's even allowed to talk about it almost because of how it ended with Boston. Now this year, back again. Now we're in the finals.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this particular team and the way Coach Carlisle is running them?
Nah, it's an exciting team. I think they play a beautiful brand of basketball. Everybody gets a chance to be great on the floor. I didn't expect this from the Pacers. I'd be lying if I said I did after the way they started the season. But Tyrese been magnificent. The last minute of the game, I mean, he's the guy you want with the ball. But I ain't going to lie, I'm probably not a fan favorite right now because I think OKC is going to win the series.
Yeah!
Indiana kid.
Yeah! High school.
I got to be real. I'm watching
the prodigal son. The prodigal son.
D-Bud has a question for you, Joe.
Hey, we were talking about up here with Shams. I know you played with Giannis. I believe you told a story about how different his energy is with his brother around. How do you see that really playing out for him, and where do you see him fitting if he does move from Milwaukee?
I can't really picture a team without Giannis in Milwaukee because he's just been there for so long. But if his brother is anywhere around that city, he's going to be there. Okay. And I said it the other day on a podcast, like, man, if you want to sign Giannis, you probably should sign his brother because they're connected. But if I seen him leave, I'm sure he probably wants to go to a big city. So I would imagine like New York, somewhere in New York, Brooklyn, or
Indiana.
Indy, yeah.
Y'all guys want Giannis here?
We'll take anybody, brother. Kevin Durant, if you're good at basketball, we'll have you. Kevin Durant needs to come here, too. Oh, my God. He just needs to sit there just like this.
So let me ask you that. Who would you trade for Kevin Durant?
Nobody. We're just signing him.
Yeah, let's bring him in.
They sign. Brother, we'll give the first-round pick for 2045. That's how you guys operate in the NBA. Yeah. You're giving up the 2033 and the 2045 first-round pick.
Trade KD for a 3-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
If you was in Sacramento, you probably could make it happen.
Connor has a question for you, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff, I love the podcast story you told on there about pushing LeBron just because why not? It was incredible. SGA feels like one of those guys you would probably just shove at the end of the game. How would you guard a guy like that? And how frustrating is it when you know, hey, if I bump this guy, he might flail back and draw a foul on me, but if I don't bump him, he's going to go right by me and, score.
Yeah, he's kind of impossible to guard. He's like James Harden in the era where I played. You couldn't touch him. You couldn't really figure out a way to stop him. For the Pacers, I think you just got to eliminate everybody else. Like last game, Caruso had a big game. Aaron Wiggins had a big game. You got to take them guys out the picture. SGA's going to get 30 points. I mean, it's proven he averages 30 every game. So if we could eliminate everybody else, I think the Pacers got a really good shot. I got the Pacers actually winning game 3, though.
Oh, don't do that, Jeff.
Snip, snap.
I don't need to hear your
snip, snap. Snip, snap.
First game 3. You in or you out? What are you?
Listen, I'm just a fan.
Okay, so
see some good basketball.
let's just see a good game. Let's see a 7-game series. So take me inside the locker room. I don't know your guys' culture well enough whenever it comes to game planning. So the coach will actually say, or you guys will all have an understanding, SGA is going to score 35 points. So if we see him lighting it up, we still are not changing our strategy at all. We're kind of just sacrificing SGA having a massive night, and then you're just trying to eliminate the other pieces?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a full mindset that everybody has.
I mean, I would say cute.
It's not necessarily like you're gonna let him. Like you do your work. You try and make everything difficult as possible, but you can't hang your head or get down if he scores because he's proven this is gonna happen. You can't let that like deter your energy. Like, yeah, you try to stop him. You don't just let him score 30, but you understand if he gets his 30, this is normal. We have to kind of try and suppress any of these other dudes. Like you said, you can't have Wiggins, Caruso, just guys popping up out of nowhere getting 20 and 18. Like Wiggins hasn't had 18 or 20 the whole playoffs, I don't think.
Yeah, Caruso going crazy just is wild. Hey,
dog.
Hey, Paisan, let's relax, dude. Okay, let's relax here. Indiana needs us. He understands that. Q-Rich tells us that a big, like, kind of mantra for you guys, especially if you're playing a good offensive team, is you bop wood. Do you bop a lot of wood? Did you bop a lot of wood?
Not say that. You know this.
I don't know if y'all watched the podcast, but that's a wild statement.
Hey, what? All NBA defense.
No, that's all NBA defense. Yeah. You bop wood.
You bop wood with the best of them.
They do that at Duke. Like Wojciechowski started that.
Oh,
when they
slap the floor.
Yeah, bopping wood.
No, we say slap the floor.
I'm sorry, smack wood.
Okay.
Crazy.
That's a mindset.
I don't get it, yeah.
Tonight, I'm bopping wood. You got to sign up for that.
Start to finish.
I slap the floor.
I never slapped the floor. I didn't do any of that. I'm not bopping wood, slapping wood, any of that. All of that is a crazy pause.
Jeez. This guy's not committed on defensive end. I can tell. Unbelievable. Jeez. Is that what you signed up for, though?
Nah, I didn't.
Okay. Ty has a question for you, Jeff.
Jeff, when we talk about the Pacers, everyone talks about their pace and like how difficult that is, and then you got a team like OKC who can actually kind of match it. How demoralizing is that when they've been kind of just running everybody else out the gym, and then you get to the finals and it's like, oh shit, this team can actually play. Like, do they need to maybe like slow down a little bit and look for better shots, or like how does that? Because it almost seems like they're playing right into what OKC does well defensively.
Well, they got to be them. I mean, what makes the Pacers great is their pace. They have to be them, and the thing they do have to do great, guys got to make shots. I mean, Tyrese is the head of the snake. Tyrese got to be aggressive all the time. Like, if that's making plays for others or getting to the basket and scoring, he has to be that. And the last game, I don't think he was as aggressive in the first half, but I think we'll see a different Tyrese tonight.
Jeff, I know you're a professional legend in the sports world out of Indianapolis, Indiana. This is Mackenzie McAfee. She is also going to be a legend. A legend.
She's beautiful.
My wife just surprised me with her down here. Obviously, the city has come out. Baby girl, you like the Pacers or no? We doing Pacers? High five for Pacers? Boom.
I got to change my pick now. I'm going for the Pacers.
There we go, Mackenzie.
Thank you. D-Bud has a question for you, Jeff.
We talked about defense. Pat calls it different. You talk about slapping the floor. You play for Tibbs. Obviously a defensive-minded coach. Knicks go all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they let go of Tibbs. How do you think, I know the players came out and spoke, positively about him, which I feel like most guys will, but how do you think they really felt about Tibbs, and what was it like playing for him? And who do you think will fit in with that Knicks roster as it is constructed?
I'm imagining the guys that played a lot like Tibbs, but if you didn't play much, you probably didn't like him. I mean, that goes for probably most of the locker room. But if I was a player that played for Tibbs and I did, and I was a starter, I loved him because I knew I was going to get a chance to make my money because I was going to be on the floor.
All the time.
Yeah, but as far as him getting released from the team, I was surprised because they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They ain't been in 25 years. But it's like, I get it too, because they needed to play some more people, they needed some more pieces, and they needed to use their bench. And I think they had quality players on the bench. We just never got a chance to see them. But as far as I can help that team, they need a scoring guard that can also help, be like a combo guard that can help Jalen Brunson. I mean, it was so much pressure on him to do everything, bring the ball up, score the basketball, run the plays, even though they ran all the plays for him.
Yeah.
But he just needs somebody else that can relieve some pressure with that scoring, him and Cat.
Gotcha.
I didn't like watching Brunson play basketball. Every time he touched it and had any space at all, he was.
It's good.
Is that who he is? Is that what he's going to be for the rest of his career? Like, it was unbelievable to watch, especially because of his size. And obviously, in real life, I assume he is tall when he's walking around. But on the court, he's not as much. He'll go into the paint. I mean, he's going into the big guys, creating enough space, and it's falling every single time. To your point, it felt like he was the only one really being depended upon. Yeah. It's like, can he do that for the rest of his? Is that what we should expect from Jalen for the rest of his? There's no way he can keep that up for the rest of his career.
I mean,
right?
I think he's going to be a 20-point scorer for the rest of his career, but I think
it was fathomable. As soon as he would get the ball, you just knew what was happening. And up close in person, he's a guy that also gets fouls called. I think a lot of scorers get a lot of fouls called on them or whatever. So that was like another thing. People were calling him flopper, which is certainly an advantage to his game. But if he had it, he was knocking it down. He was cold-blooded.
It'll be interesting who the next coach is, whether they still play that way, because his usage rate was through the roof. He had the ball all of the time doing whatever he wants. So it'll be interesting if the new coach, whoever that is, comes in, if they take that same approach as like give him the ball and get out the way, or they try and, some guys have schemes and like sets and offenses that they run, and it'll be interesting to see who the next coach is and how that dynamic works.
I saw a lot of Knicks fans saying put Brunson on the bench, and I was agreeing with them.
Yeah.
Put his ass over there. Yeah, everybody on the other team would like you guys to do that, just so you know that as you go forward. Go ahead, D-Bud.
No, I was about to say, you talked about calling sets. I feel like I didn't see many sets, and I don't know, I'm from the outside looking in, I would assume different coaches call more sets and more set plays, but I just felt like the ball went to Brunson and it just stopped.
Get out the way.
You know what I mean? And I remember Kobe years ago talking about, I think, James Harden, and like, look, you can average 37, you can win the MVP, but you're not going to win a championship like that. Is that kind of how y'all see it as well?
Yeah, for me, that's definitely how I see it. I mean, you got to have more movement, especially with all the guys they have. I mean, Michael Bridges was a 25-point scorer when he was in Brooklyn. We know what OG and Anunoby could do. I think you got to move the ball and use some of those pieces. I mean, some of them on max deals.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, OG was the highest paid on the team, so him not to even get that many touches or to be even part of the offensive scheme like that, I think it was kind of tough to watch.
Speaking of leaving the Knicks, have you ever seen somebody be able to jump as high as Obi Toppin?
Nah, Obi Toppin is different. Right?
Is he the most explosive player to ever play? Legit, is he the most explosive?
I don't know about that. I think he got a unique combination of, because he's definitely a leaper. He's got bounce, but you got to take into consideration he has crazy long arms. His arms have a lot to do with how he can dunk so effortlessly, because the length on his arms is crazy.
He did a double pump dunk in the fourth quarter against the Knicks to take the lead. Got fouled. They didn't call it because he's Obi Toppin.
Right.
If he was anybody else, they would have called it. But he hits his head off the rim seemingly on a very regular basis, and he's shown up for the Pacers in a big way. It's like every player we have has shown up in their role. Yeah. How important is that for a team that's going to have success? And is that Carlisle or who is that?
It has to be Carlisle. I mean,
Carlisle is unbelievable.
Yeah, all these guys got unbelievable confidence. They take shots that you normally wouldn't see. Some of the role players, I would call them, take shots. I think Nembhard in game one, he did a between the leg step back three in a clutch moment. And usually your star player or your go-to guy has the ball in those moments. And for him to take that shot, just let me know what kind of team they have. They have a real life, all together, one unit team.
Okay, Jeff.
Carlisle don't get enough love, man. He's one of the best coaches in the history of the game. And he's a championship coach. He's got pedigree. Every team he's coached always have an identity. They hang their hat on something. Whatever their identity is, they show up as that. And I think when he gets through, man, he's gonna finish up and go down as one of the best coaches ever, man. Carlisle is a dude.
I agree. Wild doppelganger for Jim Carrey.
Crazy. That's a fact.
I mean, even the younger, they were showing pictures of him back whenever he was with Reggie Miller when he was an assistant coach here. He looks like a young Jim Carrey. Yeah. And then whenever he's now, he obviously looks like an older Jim Carrey. And what he does and the way he coaches, we love it here in Indiana. I think it fits the state and the city perfectly, especially with the way you like to watch basketball. Speaking of fitting the state perfectly, Jeff, you're the man. Thank you for representing this city, man.
Like that South hat, baby. Like that Southside, baby.
Where's my Indians hat?
Cleveland or Indianapolis?
Indians?
That's a team name.
That's Triple A team.
Hour one is wrapping up here in beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana. It's been 9,126 days since this city has hosted an NBA Finals game. Wow. Tonight will be absolutely insane. Hour two, we have Udonis Haslem joining us and others. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. My daughter's here somewhere. Let's go find her. See you in the next hour. Goodbye. Thank you, Jeff Teague. Roads leading to Eugene, and I can't help but say, hey, 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 you make me wanna jump, put my hands up and pick my heels up and all again now. A little bit softer 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 now. A little bit louder 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 now. A little bit louder. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great day in Oregon. You know, we got a cannon. OH! We are! Thank you. I love this. Let me go ahead and cock that thing. Boom ball. Boom ball. Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, Roughnecks. We got engineers, we got doctors, we got economists. We got real tests that have real implications happening. And all of these sons of said, give me college game day. Instead of studying, I had some questions about coming out here to Berkeley, but after experiencing it, it is very evident that this is one of the best cities in this here United States of America. USA, 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 USA. And this represents everything that is great with this country, with our sport. It doesn't matter which way you view the world. It doesn't matter which part of the country you're from. College football runs through our soul. And that is what a celebration today is all about. I am thankful to be here amongst these nerds and future geniuses and future people that are going to run this place. It's an honor to be in Berkeley. It's foggy. I think there's some skunk.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, what? Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You pink! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana, on this NBA Finals Wednesday, June 11, 2025. Our turn the program starts now. Finals are happening here for the first time in 9,126 days. It's been since the year 2000 that the Indiana Pacers have hosted an NBA Finals game, and tonight it is about to be electrifying inside of Gainbridge Fieldhouse, dead center of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Look at that scene.
Dude, yeah, we are very lucky to be down here. Shout out to the Simon family and the Pacers for trying to rebuild this entire part of the city. This is one of the best backdrops we have ever seen in this state, and these people have come to hang out with us during their lunch hour. It's a beautiful day here in Indiana. It could be a great night if the Pacers are able to take a 2-1 series lead in the NBA Finals over the Oklahoma City Thunder in a pursuit of Mr. Beautiful Larry O'Brien.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what, I tried to pick this thing up earlier. It is heavy. I don't know how you weak-ass basketball players have been able to lift this up, but I do appreciate it, and we are lucky to be here. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP. Tone is here. Tony, any updates on the betting lines that we need to know for tonight's Game 3?
It has not moved. It's been 5.5 all week long. The series price is Thunder minus 550 to win the series now. SGA is the same exact. He's minus 550 to win the MVP because if the Thunder win the series, that man's going to be the MVP. But I don't know if you heard during the break, Hugh Rich was shooting. He's obviously never seen White Man Can't Jump because he didn't talk about Billy Ho at all, but he's saying it's too windy for him to shoot out here.
Yeah, a little right to left. A little bit of right to left. See, that's the thing about you very, very, very good basketball players.
Yeah.
Did you play much pickup outside when you were growing up?
When I was growing up, yeah.
But that's a long time ago.
Long time ago.
We got keys to every gym when we're in the NBA. So whenever we go shoot in a different city, we can show up at a university or a high school or maybe even the NBA gym.
Right.
Guys like us, we got to come outside.
Yeah.
We got to be outside. We got to deal with the elements a little bit. Were you not making shots during the break?
I didn't make one. I only shot 2. I said the wind comment when I was watching Sean shoot, though. I was just noticing that the wind was kind of carrying me.
Yeah, Sean's had a rough outing out here as well. My daughter Mackenzie put a couple up, put them down. I appreciate it.
She's awesome. Star of the show.
Thank you.
Star of the show right there.
Yeah, that's the second time Mackenzie's come to the show and been on the show. That was a real surprise there whenever Jeff Teague was giving a great answer. Jeff Teague, who I wanted to pay respect to, and I appreciate him coming on the show. First time he's been on, Club 520 podcast host. And then right over here, I see my daughter, and I'm like, oh my God. My daughter is here, and it's great to see her. It's great to see all of Indianapolis. It's great to see the Toxic Table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Con Man, you live downtown. You pay taxes to this city.
Yeah.
Obviously, you would like to see the Pacers have a big night.
Yeah, I need a big night, and we talked about a lot of X's and O's. You know, I'm worried for one just because I haven't heard one "Let's Go Pacers" chant since we've been here.
Wow.
Basically, all we hear is about the Thunder crowd. That's all we hear.
That doesn't count. He had to give it to him.
Yeah, hey, this Thunder crowd's crazy.
He just kind of forced now.
And they've kind of been snoozing. In the game 3, look, I'm just telling you how I see it. Okay, in the game 3 thing, one of the game 3s was on the Indy 500 day. You can kind of throw that one out the window.
There's never one on the Indy 500
Yeah, you can throw that one out the window. The one before, when they played Cleveland, that was the one where I looked around while I was in the arena like, oh, maybe these fans don't care about basketball. Maybe this isn't the state of Indiana. Because I've been told they're loud and rompous, but I haven't heard much cheering today for the Pacers.
What are you talking about? They're trying to watch the show. They're trying to be a part of the show.
I suppose. You know, it's a great way to be part of the show. Awesome Pacers chants. That'd be nice.
They did that. They've done a lot.
We got the finals trophy right in front of us. I've heard Obi Toppin chanted. That's it. I haven't heard Eddie Pascal, anything else.
This Larry O'Brien is going to be staying here in Indianapolis, Indiana for at least a year.
Might be.
I'm not saying it should be. I've already done too much.
The host.
I'm very thankful that they beat the Knicks with everything that kind of happened with me in that whole series.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Like, very, very happy. That I wasn't the jinx, you know. I wasn't the curse. But I'll tell you what, getting a chance to lift this bad boy up, I would like to do that again with a parade here in Indianapolis. And Ty Schmidt, I know you've been talking about what the city would be like if there was a parade coming through town and how many whiskeys you would potentially take down in celebration of a Ty.
I mean, I have no idea if you could even put a number on it. I think we might be just doing bottles, you know, because if the Sirs win, yes, sir.
Like Weekend at Bernie's, you getting carried out of there?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, that's Ty football.
Without a doubt.
Game tonight?
Yeah, without a doubt. Carried out. I mean, you might actually have to drag me out. I don't know if you're carrying me out. Puke everywhere. I mean, I'm selling the farm for a Pacers championship. Might shit my pants. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but that's why the Pacers need to win tonight.
Q Rich will bop wood, you poop your pants.
Yeah.
We got good things happening here in Indianapolis, Indiana. 9-year, and if not together.
Not together.
We've heard stories of that, and also not going to judge if that's what you're into.
Sure.
9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler is here, D-Butler.
Hey, I'm excited. I'm excited as well. Obviously, Larry O'Brien here. Pacers compete for a championship. My Florida Panthers competing for another Stanley Cup, but in the break, me and Tone just kind of passing each other. A lot of basketball talk, which we love, but boy, I can't wait till football season.
Well, the game day commercial was on when you guys were down in Bloomington and everywhere else, and I was like, oh my God, it's just so.
Everybody's getting excited for those Chicago Bears, huh? That's what's going on.
Bears
again.
This man is a diehard Chicago Bears fan. This is 13-year NBA vet, Q Rich.
Is that Caleb Williams on your floor?
No,
it's Rex Grossman.
It's the Chicago.
The Bears are going to be okay.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a long time coming. A lot of hurtful years I've been enduring. I couldn't even say anything to my friends. Cubs, Blackhawks, everything else, Chicago. Yes.
Everybody's good? All those teams are good?
Yeah, we got championships and everything.
Since when?
Check it. We have championships and everything.
And also, you guys.
And everything.
And Zito just reminded me, Chicago native as well. We also have the Pope. So.
True.
Damn.
That's a good point.
God bless.
Don't forget about the fire they bought the Bears Stadium land.
Booyah.
So let's talk about the NFL a little bit, since we're all talking about that, or wanting to talk about that. Here in Indianapolis, we're in the middle of a massive transition. Obviously, Jim Irsay passed away 2 weeks ago. Rest in peace to him, and thank you to him for everything that he did for the city.
Thank you, Jim.
And for the Colts. So many things behind the scenes that nobody will ever learn about, and I'm sure his family members don't even know about, because Jim Irsay would literally just watch the news, see a story, and then he would have Pete Ward go and try to take care of it. And then he would tell the person, don't say anything, because there's big tax stuff and everything else that could potentially happen. So just kind of keep it behind closed doors. Don't want to out anybody for anything, but that's literally how Jim Irsay operated here in Indianapolis. So he passes on. He passes on the team to his 3 daughters. And we all wonder to ourselves, yes, these 3 ladies have grown up in the league. They've grown up around some of the greatest of all time at all the key positions in the sport of football and in the league of the NFL. When you talk about quarterbacking, they've had Peyton Manning here, they've had Andrew Luck here, they've had Bruce Arians here, they've had Clyde Christensen here, and the girls have been around all of them, talked to all of them, hopefully learned from them. When you talk about front office, well, Bill Polian was around for a lot of their developmental years, where they were able to ask questions and learn from Bill Polian, who's a Hall of Famer in the general managing. And then I just mentioned a guy named Pete Ward. Pete Ward has been the CEO of the Indianapolis Colts, or the president of the Indianapolis Colts, since they got here in Baltimore, has handled so many different deals and negotiations and seen the league come from one thing into this mega league that it is today. So when you talk about 3 girls that are potentially ready for the opportunity, I think the Irsay daughters would certainly be ready for the opportunity, but we have no idea how it's going to go. We saw one particular quote get sent around via Twitter, and basically everything they're saying right now is about how they're expecting to be the best. They're expecting this team to be great. They're expecting everything to get better than what it was. And she also talked about how some people have maybe made fun of her for wearing a headset on the sideline and have a play sheet on her arm, and how she's been in different various things. Her quote about that was, "How do you know who's making the mistake if you don't know what the hell is going on?" She basically said, I was wearing that headset so I could learn how these things all take place. She didn't play football growing up. She didn't get an opportunity to be in the huddle or in the meeting rooms, and she has tried to take every opportunity to catch up on all the information. She said sometimes people will say a wide receiver ran the wrong route. Well, what if actually the wide receiver was tagged the wrong route, and it wasn't the wide receiver's fault, it was either the quarterback's fault or the offensive coordinator's fault? She's been on the headset for the last 3 years. There's been a lot of people that have questioned it. But all she's done is taken notes, realized what people have done, gone to meetings, try to learn everything about it, so that when she inevitably becomes the owner like she is today, she can be confident in her role. Here's her speaking about the standard of the Indianapolis Colts, and I want to let the Irsay daughters know, the owners of the Colts, I love what you're doing here early to set the precedent.
Mike, we are very confident. Having said that, I think, as my dad said before he passed, Chris and Shane know that they have things they need to fix. And, we talked about not micromanaging people, but also we have a standard here and it hasn't been good enough. And, winning is great, but I would even take it a step further in saying, we're really committed to being the best. And if we're the best, we will win games. And I think Chris and Shane are totally capable of doing that, and we're confident that they can.
I love what she's saying. Listen, we want to be the best. We don't just want to be good. We don't just want to win games. We want to be the best. Chris and Shane know that they need to do better. What did you hear there, Darius J. Butler?
Like you said, it was a little more to the quote that I heard, at least, and just her speaking out on what the standard is. Obviously, the standard is championships. And the long-term commitment, I don't think she made any long-term commitment to Shane and Chris. I think they could get it done as well. But look, it's standard is standard. You got to get it done. This city is looking for another championship and looking for to contend. Pat talked about the great quarterbacks that we have here. We haven't figured that quarterback situation out since Andrew Luck left. So that's step number one. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance. But they've been getting prepared. My last year playing here was 2017, and Carly was very hands-on then. So I'm sure she's more than prepared to take on this role. And they've made some great moves this offseason. They really opened up the checkbook, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Brought in Danny Dimes to compete, starting quarterback job. We'll see how that works. Drafted Tyler Warren. I'm super, super happy about that. Got some great pieces on the outside. Jonathan Taylor, one of the best backs in the league. So I'm excited right now. It is June, but I am excited about the Colts' future for sure.
Made a lot of moves on the defensive side.
Yes.
And I think what you hear from Carly there about the expectation of being the best sounds like she's going to be willing to pay, though, too, right?
Yes.
Like anytime you hear an ownership say these types of things, it's like, all right, that's going to fall on your shoulders as well on how we're able to get these contracts done. Feels like they're ready to go all in.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. It was like, hey, listen, this is our money. This is our family's money. Like, I want to know if we're the coaches and the GMs that we're paying millions and millions and millions of dollars to. Like, I want to make sure we have the right guys. I'm not just going to, like, listen, I understand that I didn't, grow up in the football world, or I haven't been a coach, or whatever the case may be. But it's like, hey, we're not just going to throw money willy-nilly around and be okay with that and just let a guy lose year after year after year. So a little accountability, like, it was awesome to hear.
Yeah, and, I talk about how Mackenzie's got some stuff to say, too. She can't censor herself. She's going to wait until it's just a digital.
Sure.
Really let some things fly.
Early. She's going to be ready.
Yeah, she does. She can play the piano a little bit. She bats on it. But whenever you talk about, like, and this might be the wrong way to look at it, but I think whenever there's a new ownership or new management or anything like that, everything they do is setting a precedent. Everybody is watching everything that they're doing. Players, agents, coaches, front office, other teams, everything they say and do is going to be magnified because it's the first time they're doing anything. A guy exits the front office shortly after Carly gets in there. She starts talking about standards and what she wants. It's like, I think these are all great precedents that are being set by the Irsay girls who now take over the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying all of the right things. Like when new ownership, and it's not exactly like new ownership because they were born and raised in all this, so they know what to do. Their dad taught them a lot, but they were saying all the right things. And I think setting the precedent and saying that, Chris and Shane Steichen, like, it hasn't been perfect yet. They believe in them. They said the same thing about AR. Like, his start hasn't been great yet, but they said they show belief. They're not giving up on anybody yet, but they're saying, like, hey, the clock is ticking. We need to get this done now.
There's a couple times where Carly was giving an answer as Mackenzie has exited the stage. Good job, pretty girl. Yeah, give yourself a round of applause. She's awesome. That is so cool. Anytime I get to see her. What did you just mention there?
About how they said, hey, AR, Shane, Chris, it hasn't been great so far, but we still have hope in them.
Yeah, so when she was talking at the press conference, you saw her, there was a couple times where she could have went one way or she went another way.
Yep.
And it was like you see her trying to figure out, like, do I bury here or do I take high road? Or how do I word this particular high road? Because everything is magnified now.
Yep.
She's been doing media for the last few years. She's been at the owners' meetings for the last few years. Whenever you're alongside Jim Irsay, I think it was the family, but now that you're the acting owner, she's the one from the Colts in the room. It's like, feels like she's done everything she possibly could to be prepared. Got a lot of...
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
See, that guy's fired up.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's Engine 11?
That's firefighters.
Fire department.
Hey, we appreciate you. Hey, Engine 11, I like that. Good
Let's
call.
go.
Good line there. It feels like she is, and she's a lawyer, I think, originally. So we're talking about a big brain.
Intelligent.
Yeah, talking about a big brain. All the girls, obviously, big brains. But, like, I think her willingness to want to learn. But there's a lot of people that want them to fail.
For sure.
I mean, I was looking at the internet. There's a lot of people that want, they might be fake people on the internet, might be bots. I think
there's a lot of fake stuff on the internet.
Yeah, that's a lot. There's a lot of things being said in the same fashion by a lot of different accounts, seemingly much regular basis now than it had in the past on the internet. But nonetheless, there's people that are going to want them to fail. I think they know that as well. I think they understand the position they're in, and I think they're excited for it.
Well, and if you're some of the players on the team too, like we're talking about them talking about Chris and Steichen, but if you're a player on the team that's been paid, you might have been comfortable last year, but now that there's new ownership and they're talking about getting, possibly having changes if things don't get better, then if you're Jonathan Taylor, I won't go there with Pittman, but if you're some of those guys who are vets, who are Ballard's guys, I mean, you guys talk about it all the time. They bring in a new GM. That GM's going to want his own guys in there. So even if you're one of those dudes who's been paid and you feel like you're an established vet and you're safe, like that's just not the reality. So you also have to ball out.
I mean, you talk about new GMs and how they operate. I just broke some Colts record, went into free agency. I was told by the new GM at the time, there is no loyalty between us. I did not draft you. And it's like, I thought I did pretty good. I did okay, but I understand there is an arrest, there is a mugshot.
Cold world.
There are some tweets. I could see where you're coming from, but with that being said, I like this place.
That was pretty good.
You were in an office somewhere else whenever all that was happening, but they do. They have their own vision of the team. Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen, a lot of pressure this year. I think that's how we like it, but I think there's also a lot of high hopes because there's a lot of talent on that roster, and the Irsay family has paid a lot of people on that roster. So for them to continue to not make the playoffs and be a winning organization, I think we'll see that change. Let's go to another winning organization that has a lot going on right now. Pittsburgh Steelers have a new quarterback. His name's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, they do. Little hesitation there.
What's that about? Heck's that about?
He's friend of the program.
Hey, shut up.
I think that's a boo of the Pittsburgh Steelers, not of Aaron Rodgers.
I think it's the quarterback.
A lot happening with Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh right now. Diggs, what is your take on how the Steelers-Aaron Rodgers relationship has begun like?
I mean, I don't have to get a take. Everyone saw the videos of him out there on the practice field yesterday, just absolutely slinging around. I mean, look at that. Have you ever seen a better throwing motion? That's a 4-time NFL MVP. Q, did you know that? 4-time. And
unfortunately, I do.
And the Steelers basically got him for. Oh yeah, he owns Chicago. I forgot that.
You don't have to say that. Don't say that.
He was out there slinging around yesterday. He was slinging to DK. The Steelers got DK Metcalf this year as well.
Easy for you to say.
Mr. Metcalf.
It wasn't easy. It was Mr. Metcalf. Aaron's not some MAGA guy. But no, they looked great out there yesterday. He talked to the media. He said, he's done things for ego in his past. He didn't make this move for his ego. This was for his soul. He wanted to play for another legendary franchise like he did for the Green Bay Packers. The Steelers are very similar. Everything went well yesterday. He said it started with Coach T. The respect for Coach T that he has is a big reason why he's there. And he's looking to bring number 7 back to the city of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he was asked what a championship would mean for him at this stage of his career, and he turned and said, well, this would be 7 for Pittsburgh, right? Yeah. That's what it's all about. It's like, great answer.
Great answer.
He was also asked about a piece of jewelry, I believe. We have the video.
Last ring finger, is that an Aura ring or anything else? That wedding ring? Anything?
Yeah, it's a wedding ring.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How long ago?
It's been a couple months.
A few more here, a few more. Talk a lot.
Hey, congratulations.
Congrats, Aaron.
What exactly?
Yeah, is he married then?
Does that mean he's wearing a wedding ring?
Does that mean he's married?
Yeah, for a couple months. Did you guys not listen?
I'm happy for him. If he's happy, we would like to let you know, Aaron, we are incredibly happy for you if you're happy, no matter what the case is. You can see clearly he did not want to really talk about it.
Yes.
Let's move along. But it is very notable, especially when you're a quarterback.
Exactly.
Because it's going to be on there.
A little different weight distribution.
Happy for it. Aaron, we're happy for you, buddy. Happy for you. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions. Obviously, this is the brand new Lions. And because of that, Dan Campbell now is only 28 wins away from being the all-time leader in wins for the Detroit Lions.
Whoa.
28 wins. Now, obviously, 17 games in a season.
This dude is awesome.
Okay, your thoughts as basketball player on, like, super meathead-like coach in football?
I love the enthusiasm. I think he translates to his team. Like, when he first came, he was talking about biting limbs and stuff. I was crying, laughing, but, like, you've seen different people like that in sports resonate with a group of guys, and like you see the impact he's had on that team, and I love it. Every time I see him, it's like he's the dude, get your blood boiling and going.
So Carlisle is like a attention to detail, accountability driven coach. I think he's like pretty well known as being like a hard-nosed coach. Mm-hmm. How many different styles of coaching is there in basketball? Feels like there's a lot of facilitators trying to make everybody happy. Feels like there's some, what was Phil? Phil was like a guru, spiritual.
Yeah, Zen master.
Yep. Carlisle was pretty attention to detail. Like, what is the normal head coaching attitude?
I think, like you said, it's a lot of different ones, man. It's a lot. Some guys, like you say, really get after it and really the coaches that I like are the ones that don't back down. They're not afraid to get up in whoever faces. I like the guys that address the top guys first, and then it just flows down through the team. Because if you could check the superstar, everybody else going to fall in line. Like, he handling him like that, we know what happened to us. So, like, I like those coaches.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a 3-time NBA champion. His number is retired in Miami. Feels like he could beat everybody's ass in this entire state. Ladies and gentlemen, Udonis Haslem.
up here with the champion. He got a championship ring on.
Got to.
Holy shit.
He got a championship ring on, too. That's how you feel?
And the watch. Oh, that is a nice watch.
You look clean as shit.
But TV ready.
That suit is not off the rack.
You, man.
Look at him.
Holy shit.
Boy, nice shoes, boy. Look at you. You got your East outfit today, ain't
Thank you. Look, the domesticated version. Domesticated version.
You showed up to work tonight, boy. Look at that.
Yes, sir.
Got a ring on? You see that ring?
Clean. Sheesh.
How many years in the NBA in total?
20.
Jeez.
20.
This guy's going to be collecting his 401k as soon as he's done with an NBA salary. You look unbelievable. The championship ring looks spectacular. Obviously, that's what we're all hoping for here in Indiana. The Pacers have never won an NBA title. Whenever you think about the grandness of that, is that something that the players think about? The weight of that you think is on the Pacers' shoulders, or are they just worried about individual games?
No, I think the weight of it is definitely on their shoulders. They understand they have a chance to make history. It's not easy to get to where they are. Obviously, I think nobody would have picked them to get this far, but me, loving the underdogs, I picked the Pacers to win this series.
Hell yeah!
Me loving the underdogs, I picked the Pacers to win this series. But if it's one thing that I do think they have, there you go.
Finally.
That was good. That's good stuff.
Okay.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff.
We appreciate you doing that, too.
Tricky Ricky. Rick Carlisle.
Yes.
I think Rick Carlisle is going to let these guys know what time it is. They understand the moment. They understand that they're fortunate to be in this situation. They will not take this for granted, and they will give their best version and give their best foot forward. So I'm with them.
You're undrafted, so I think that's potentially why you love the underdog story. I think you're also a guy that was a culture setter for teams.
Yes.
We have a guy named James Johnson. Have you seen this guy?
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Okay.
He was my young fella.
Okay, so
from Miami.
Makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
With that being said, I've heard he has a black belt. Everybody just says, like, I heard he had a black belt, like he is a real deal.
Oh, I seen it firsthand.
Okay, I love that. I'm going to ask you about his role, and you think the importance of it, because I watched it against the Knicks. So there was 3 Knicks fans that were sitting front row. I just so happened to be in those seats that were next to the bench. Felt like I was part of the team. We got a big win that night.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there was a timeout happening, and there was 3 Knicks fans that were front row, and this guy was a great shit talker. Obviously, clearly out of New York, had a little bit of an accent, but he was targeting Tyrese Halliburton in this timeout loudly. Okay, coming over my shoulder. James talks to this man, says something horrendous. I would say something very, 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 just a shot right across the bow.
Yes.
That guy immediately turns his attention off of Tyrese, talks to James Johnson the rest of the game. Okay?
That's leadership.
Bingo.
That's leadership.
Like, I literally watched his role unfold in real time. Everybody thinks he's like a guy that'll come and clean up, or like a body guy if there's a fight. But I saw him literally take a shit talker away from Tyrese to him. That role seems to be very vital. Also, a lot of clapping, a lot of upping, everything like that. Is that the role, and is that how you kind of felt throughout a lot of your career?
Yes, and that is a very important role, to be not only a protector but also a connector. And James Johnson is a guy who not only protects those guys, but he connects those guys in the locker room. When we talk about being a part of something that I was a part of, when you talk about culture, that's a brotherhood. That is something that is not just built in practice from those practice hours. That is spent time off the basketball court, getting to know one of each other's family, getting to know how somebody got to where they point. And also, it's something that me and James always say, have enough heart for everybody. Have enough heart for everybody. If this guy doesn't have enough heart, don't worry about it. I got you. If you don't have enough heart, I got you. Don't worry about it. We'll be fine.
I remember when there was a conversation, I think, about Jimmy and Spo getting into it a little bit, and I don't remember if you came out publicly and said it or if everybody else was saying it for you. UD will fight for Coach Spoelstra, anybody. If
I was going to whip Jimmy ass. It's okay. And I love Jimmy. That's nothing against Jimmy, but before I let one guy take down this locker room, I whip your ass.
That's awesome. It's very evident why all of your teams.
There's 15 other guys here got the right mindset. Before I let this one guy take down these whole 15, I whip your ass.
And so we talked to Mark Messier the other day, and he's considered like the captain, and he was giving a speech basically for the Edmonton Oilers if he was their captain,
Do you find yourself doing the same thing for teams? Because I just heard your leadership on display for that one comment, let alone over 20 years in the NBA. Do you feel like you get in a moment where you're like, I wish I could say this to this team or this at this particular time?
All the time. And that's why I got into TV, because I sit at home watching games and I started to complain and throw shit at the TV. Excuse me. I started to complain and throw stuff.
You're good.
Oh, okay. I can say okay. I started to complain and get frustrated at home, and that's why I got into TV, because I always have something to say. Even now with social media, now you can reach out to these young guys. How many young guys got DMs from me? And I ain't sliding in your DMs for the wrong reasons. I'm sliding in your DMs to give you advice. I don't even know you, have never met you, have never played with you, but if I'm watching your game and you're not playing the game the right way, you might get a DM from OG about, that's that bull, cut it out.
You could have said it there. Once again, we figured that out. Would have loved it. And I like that you're sending DMs to guys and telling them, hey, on the defensive end, Q-Rich says it all the time, we need to bop some wood down there.
Yeah. Bop it.
Connor has a question for you.
I don't know if I use the term bop some wood, but it's something like that.
You can probably take it after this. Bobbing wood, everyone's doing it right now. UD, you were, I think you still are, in player development for the Heat.
Yes.
Do you just kind of look at like a player like Pascal Siakam and show guys like, hey, this is how you can go through the G League, do it the right way, and then become All-NBA, become a champion? What is kind of your strategy for developing guys? Siakam's one of my favorites.
I love using guys like Pascal Siakam, guys like myself, because at the end of the day, you got a better chance of being me or Pascal than you got of being LeBron.
Yep. Sure.
That's just the reality of the situation. I think everybody looks at what LeBron is and what he's capable of, and I take nothing away from what he does on the basketball court and how hard he works. But at the end of the day, everybody ain't gonna be 6'9", 270 and can run a 4.3 and can jump 48 inches in the air. That's just not the reality for everybody. So I like to lean in on the hard work. I tell everybody, don't trust me, regardless of what I say. I can say anything. Trust the work that you put in. Mm-hmm. The work is never gonna lie to you. So I love workers. I'm always gonna bet on the guy that's gonna put the work in.
Work ethic's the greatest thing on earth. It's the greatest trait to have. Siakam, you talk about being 6'9", being able to run a 4.3. He's unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
He ran the Knicks off the court. I mean, it was very clear what he did. He wins the MVP, and his wingspan might be 8 foot.
I'm gonna give you a guy.
Spins that shit.
Reminds me of a guy you played with, Reggie Wayne.
Oh, yes.
He just get out there and go get it, don't he?
Yeah.
He just get out there and go get it, don't he? I know them Hurricane boys now. I'm a Hurricane guy. I know all the Hurricanes that came through here. The Edgerrin James, the Reggie Waynes. I know all them guys. I know you didn't play with EJ, but he was here, though.
I love Edge. Yes. I heard Edge speak. He spoke at Mr. Irsay's funeral.
Yep.
It was maybe the greatest speech of the entire day. Very Edge, very you throughout the entirety while honoring Jim Irsay. But yeah, the U has a great history here in Indianapolis. Reggie's so smooth. I think that is a great way to describe Pascal because he's just so damn smooth. D-Butt, South Florida boy, has a question for you.
Yeah, South Florida boy. First of all, thank you for everything you did for the city, for the organizations down there. Being in the building. For Game 3 with the Panthers, even with Bam on the drum, needed that big ass whooping. Thank you for bringing that energy. But we talking about leadership, hard work ethic, all of that. We had a conversation, I think, about Mike Beasley with the one-on-one. You talked about if he was drafted to a different team, maybe things have went a little differently. Now, I know. So, Heat culture, that's one of the buzzwords, almost like Patriot way in football. What is it really about being in that building with Riles? We had Bron on, he mentioned it too. What is it about being you, 20 years, Heat lifer?
That was true.
So what is it about being in that building that's kind of different than other buildings? I'm looking at some of these free agents, Giannis, KD potentially on the move that could potentially fit in down there. What is it about that building? Who can't fit in down there?
The thing about Heat culture is about something that's always going to be bigger than you. That's the first thing and foremost when you step into Heat culture, that it's always going to be bigger than you. Even the superstars, it's going to be bigger than you. It ain't going to be bigger than Riley, but it's going to be bigger than you. So when you step into that arena, you understand you're stepping into an atmosphere where you're asked to sacrifice from the jump. Immediately. I understand what you did when you was at Chris Bosh. I understand what you did when you was at LeBron. I understand what you did when you were here, D-Wade. That doesn't matter anymore. We all have to sacrifice. So when you talk about Heat culture, it's about sacrificing, man, and that's a foreign language to a lot of guys when they get in this position. It's easy when they say Q have to sacrifice or UD have to sacrifice, but then when the coach say I got to sacrifice, it's who, me? Me too? No, not me. So now when you have 15 guys, 16, 17 guys on the same page, one accord, willing to sacrifice for one common goal, I think that's when you get into Heat coaching. And a lot of times you just don't have that in every locker room because you have superstars but we had the big three and the little 12. And the little 12 was just as valuable as the big three. And you don't have that in every locker room. A lot of times you have the superstars and the other guys kind of just hang out over here.
Now, I said from this point, because he's in a special, unique situation because he was there for his whole career. I'm a person that's been in a lot of different locker rooms and can speak to why that's different. Because you remember when I got
that's
there.
My dog.
He was there with the first day when I got there, him and James Johnson in the gym. I got straight off the plane. When I say straight off the plane, don't take me to no hotel, nothing. I got my bags in the locker room. First thing you do, strip down, weight and body fat. Then you go run until you throw up. And I'm not UD. When I got through that day, I came down in the locker room. UD was sitting there. I'm over here just laid out. UD and JJ. UD say, I ain't even gonna too much about lie to you, boy. He's like, they trying to see if you gonna quit. He like, they just throwing a kiss. He's like, they throwing, you ain't supposed to be doing the stuff you doing yet. He was like, you ain't give up though. He like, Bill gonna take a picture of your throw up every day. I thought the workout was done. I done threw up down here in the court. He come walking down there and snapped the picture. Said what's his quote? It's a great day to work.
Great day to work. Great day to live.
Great day to live.
So it's not like that everywhere, you're saying?
No. Listen, the thing that makes it different, because everywhere you go.
Can you win in 2025 like that? 2026?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But like the difference is this, because like I've been places, say like Bill, the guy we talking about. He comes say, "Do you got to work out? You got to lift." He gonna tell you that and walk away. Other places, you got people that's gonna try and massage the situation and work with you, and we could work. Nah, look, this is what you got to do. If you don't want to do it, go up there and talk to Pat.
It's frowned upon. It's frowned upon for the guys that quit. It's frowned upon to not be in shape.
Yeah.
It's frowned upon from the other 14 guys. So before Pat has to say something, before Spo say something, the guys in the locker room have already policed this situation.
I don't know
if you quit now, then you can quit in the fourth quarter.
I don't know how you. Abe, I love that. I just got back from Parris Island boot camp for the Marines, and love everything about it. But it's like that's their mindset. Is like we need to. It needs to be hard now. Because whenever we're out there together, obviously it's different than a basketball game or a football game, but we're going to need you when we're out there. So we're not scared of hurting your feelings right now because we're going to need it inevitably. I do wonder in basketball if in 2025, 2026 that can go. Because I think Carlisle kind of has a similar operation. And they talk about the cardio. J.J. Redick mentioned it with the Lakers. We need to be in better shape.
It happens in pockets. Ime Udoka ain't playing no games out here. Popovich, before he stepped away, wasn't playing no game. They had it's places where there's a real culture in place. Obviously, Miami is a standard, but I mean, it's still pockets of teams around the league that operate in that way.
Well, how did it work with Shaq then? Because it felt like, at least in Shaq's documentary, he would basically talk about the first 2 months of the regular season is when he's just getting into shape, and then by Christmas he's living. How was it in Miami with Shaq then?
How was it?
They had to alter it a little bit for Big Fella. He wasn't on the 5% body fat scale like everybody else.
Did he used to put oil on it?
Yeah, I would get into that. He got down to about 10-12% body fat, which was great for him.
Yes.
But he used to put baby oil on, so when they try to pinch him, when they try to pinch you to take the body fat, it used to slip. It used to slip. So he probably was about 15, but after it slipped, it was about 10 to 12.
The best is when I got there, they would tell the stories of like how they had to get a new scale because he would try and hide the scale. They had the joint that you weigh animals on these scales, right?
This is the move. So we had guys that would be trying to get around the scale. Every Friday was a weigh-in, so Thursday nights, guys were drinking the things that you do before you do a colonoscopy, just so you shit your pants out, let it all night out. AQ Shipley is the person I'm referring to. He had to lose like 12 pounds every Thursday night. He'd get on a scale, and he would try to sneak just one finger on the thing in front of him. You could lift off like 5 pounds if you just press it.
That's crazy.
They're like making all these rules. It sounds like Shaq with the baby oil was the right play.
That's awesome.
I think AQ Shipley maybe should have been lubing up a little bit.
But 7'3", 300-pound, greased up.
At least 300.
I was like, yeah, you go ahead and take your body fat by yourself. I'm gonna just wait outside.
Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, with that era, the Shaq, like you played through both of them. There's old clips coming out of the finals in 2006, and there's two guys on the block, and now everyone's out on the perimeter. How was that transition for you as a player, and just kind of watching the league change as from 2006 for the next 20 years?
I mean, fortunately for me, I was undersized anyway. So once the league started to change a little bit, the guys that could guard multiple positions kind of came into play. I was one of those guys that guarded multiple positions. The thing that changed for me was when the three-point line became the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? It was just we don't want anything but dunks and threes. We don't want any mid-range. So once the mid-range got taken out of the game, I think that changed my career a little bit. But I think
made some threes though. That was crazy. I couldn't believe that, but you made some threes.
You know me, perception ain't reality.
Mid-range killer.
How are you able to shoot with that pinky?
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Because I'm
feels like that
right-handed.
would. Yeah, but I feel like that would jab.
Not at all. Not at all.
Pop the ball.
That's just like a guide hand. It ain't really doing much.
Yeah, but I mean that thing's not guiding anything. It's saying turn right.
You just put it on the side of the basketball. Yeah, it don't matter.
How long's finger been like that?
You said that pinky game.
Long as I can remember. Long as I can remember. What's the point of getting it fixed? I'm probably gonna break it again. That's what I said. I'm just gonna break it again.
Jersey or basketball?
Basketball.
Just bang.
Yeah.
How many busted fingers in basketball? A lot.
I've broken them all. They've all been broken.
Well, carrying around all those rings. Yeah, you're a little heavy down there.
Yeah, they've all been broken. But guess what? Never missed a game, never came out.
Hell yeah. Boom.
That's what I'm talking about.
Town has a question for you.
Yeah, UD, you've been on so many good teams. You talked about all those teams that went to the finals. I mean, you had, as an 8 seed, you guys went to the finals. You went Shaq and Wade, the big three. What was the one constant with all those teams on why they went to the finals? And do you see that in either of these two teams?
We weren't the best team, but I think we were the most connected team.
Yeah.
We were the most connected team, and that's what I learned from the great leaders. I think all the leaders that I played with, the Shaqs, the LeBrons, the Alonzo Mournings, is regardless of how good you are, how good you coach, if you don't really mess with your teammate like that, if y'all don't really get along, if y'all haven't created a brotherhood in this locker room, because I tell you what, it's easy to punch in from 1 to 2 or whatever your hours are, but when you're playing for a brother instead of a teammate, it just takes it to a whole nother level for you. So I think the power of connection, and that's what you guys have here. This is what these guys are talking about in Indiana. The power of the brotherhood.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? To me, that beats a talented team 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. I'm taking the brotherhood. I'm taking the connected guys.
Okay, you picked the Pacers in this series. Go ahead, D-Bud.
No, on that note, like obviously lifetime Heat fan, you were there. 2011 Heatles. You go up against a Carlisle coach team.
Yes.
What is it like being in the trenches against a team that's coached by him? Obviously, that was a much different team, very different makeup. But I feel a lot of similarities with this Pacers team. What's it like being in the trenches with Carlisle?
Ricky, Trigger Ricky. Let me tell you, Trigger Ricky is a hell of a coach. Rick Carlisle is a hell of a coach, and not just offensively, because we talk about what they do offensively, but defensively as well. He threw a zone at us in that finals, and you would think that 15 grown men can score on a zone. We didn't know what the hell to do. Went all the way to the finals and could not score against a zone, out of all things.
Yeah.
So Rick Carlisle threw that. So, for me, I look at Rick Carlisle and I look at that team, and I say to myself, he's the X factor. You have a lot of guys. You have Obi, who's going to step up. Benedict finally got it going last game. He's a guy who you depend on offensively as well. Miles Turner got it going. But I think Rick Carlisle is the X factor.
Okay, let's talk about Dags on the other side. People are saying he's an incredible coach. Obviously, he's younger than Coach Carlisle for the Oklahoma City team. What do you see from their squad that he potentially brings?
He's a hell of a coach, and also he's a Gator, so go Gators. I got to give him that now. I got to give him that.
You guys might have a football team again. You know that?
Basketball champs?
Basketball champs. Might have a football team again, too.
Got a quarterback.
Oh, yeah, that QB.
Yes. And also Napier's, culture, settle it in.
They turned it around.
Yes.
Did not give up last year.
Yes.
Yeah, but I love what he does. And one thing what I'll say about Dagenham is how you can tell that he's a good coach is that he got a young team playing the right way on both sides.
Yeah.
It's not just playing offensively the right way. They play defense the right way. They hold each other accountable. There's 5 guys on the string. You can tell guys are rotating and pulling triggers. You can tell they go through dummy defense in practice. Yeah, you can tell they dig the elbows. They take their 2.9 on the weak side. They do everything. So they're very well coached.
Jigging elbows, bopping wood. That's Coach Carlisle team.
I had a lot of pauses up here today.
I wonder what's going on.
What should we look for? You guys need to relax with the way you think about stuff.
You guys are saying it.
We're talking basketball. This is a sports program.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
We're
talking basketball, right?
Yeah, we're talking basketball. Bop wood. UD, what should we look for tonight at the beginning that's going to indicate who's going to win this game? Can we tell?
Well, I think both teams are going to be more settled in. I think we've only had 6 lead changes in 2 games, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? 6 lead changes in 2 games total is crazy. So I think this will be more of what we're accustomed to, a lot of lead changes. I do think Tyrese Halliburton will be a lot more aggressive in the first half to set the tone of the game. Even if it's not in full court and half court, I think he needs to target those bigs in the pick and roll. They're in the drop coverage. That way he can get to his pull-up 3. You also got the throwback to Miles Turner. So he needs to attack the 5-man. On the other end, when I look at OKC, man, I was a little disturbed because, once again, I picked Indiana. It was scary to me that they went on that run in the second quarter without SGA in the game. Yeah. That made me a little nervous if I'm Indiana. So I'm looking for those guys on OKC to look at that lineup and say, okay, we went on a 19-2 run with SGA on the bench to finish out the second quarter. We can go with this lineup a little more. So I'm looking for them to play that small lineup with just one big, but to have Wiggins, Casey Wallace, Caruso, and J-Dub running the point. That was a good matchup for them. That was a good lineup.
All right, we'll look for that. Obviously, need to pick and roll with the big man, pitch it, do the whole thing, got the 5-hole. Dig the elbows. You hit that, dig elbows out.
Chop wood.
Bop wood. Yeah. We appreciate you so much. Are you on TV today, or are you just always dressed?
I'm on TV today, but this is domesticated OG.
No, it ain't. Don't try to get him fooled now. Listen, he show up and he look presentable like he's supposed to be for work. He dressing in flip-flops if he ain't doing this. He got flip-flops, comfort going.
Yeah, as he should. You've earned that.
I'm Chicago turned Florida boy. You don't wear gym shoes no more. You wear flip-flops all the time.
Trust me, once again, I just look like this. Don't run up on me on the streets playing. I'm not the guy. I just look like this.
You are the guy.
We class of 98 too. You know, we same class of high school.
Man, this guy been playing against each other for years.
Since 15. That's when we first met each other.
Yeah, because in basketball, you guys, like in high school, are basically playing against the guys that you know are going to make it, right?
We met each other in Teague, New Jersey at ABCD Adidas camp.
We got this thing, we say real recognize real. So when I got to the camps, I'm like, don't want to hang out with those guys. Don't want to. Them Chicago guys look like the kind of guys. Them look like my kind of guys. These Chicago guys look like our kind of guys. You know what I mean?
Jeff Teague buried Chicago in the first hour. I don't know if you heard him. Yeah, he buried right to his face. Really? Well, he actually was looking this way.
Said Indiana's better at basketball.
Yeah, Indiana's better at basketball.
But Indiana ain't got no chips.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Indiana ain't got no chips.
A man who's won 3 NBA titles, a cultivator of culture, incredibly fly-looking tough guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Udonis Haslem.
My dog. Yeah. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
Go out tonight.
You did. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Hey, Q Rich. Hey, thank you, UD. Q Rich. Thanks for just crumpling that plastic bottle.
That's what that was?
Yeah, just squash a plastic bottle right into your microphone.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know I did that.
No, it was awesome. It was a nice little, it was a good moment. Kept it alive. UD's a dog.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Since day one.
Man. The dog.
You said since you're 15 years old, you guys know each other?
Yep, met each other. It was NBA camp, actually. NBA camp, Teague, New Jersey. Yep.
Him just talking about the culture, so much more similar to football than I realized. Because I always just thought.
Or down there.
What's that?
Down there in Miami.
Yeah, but then he started talking about here in Indiana. Then we started talking about Oklahoma City.
Austin.
Then he started talking about Missoula. He started talking about all these other coaches that are like Ime, I think, is also a hard-nosed coach. Yeah. It's like basketball is much more accountability driven than I imagined. Because I always thought it was just. I mean, yeah, I played pickup basketball. The guys who are on the floor are the ones that are going to decide this. It's like there's so much more to it if you want to be great. I love hearing that.
Q was like when it was the Heatles' big three. Like, was he the leader on the team or was it D-Wade? Do you know?
I don't know who they would say, but I know he was one of them.
Yeah.
It's not a locker room that he's been in and he's not going to be one of the leaders. That's just those type of things are natural. You can't just pick and choose. He that just rides, and you can see it. It oozes out of him. He's a leader. Everything about him, he shows leadership. And any room he's in or team he's going to be a part of, he's going to be one of those guys.
I love hearing that leadership matters because I think sports kind of create those at a more rapid rate than anywhere else. Listening to Mark Messier. What was that, yesterday?
Yeah.
They just want to ice skate through a wall.
Yes.
And then you got UD in here talking about what players need to do and teams need to do. He said he's sending DMs while watching games. Can't be having it. That's not our league. I love the care. I love the compassion. And I love the leadership. And I also love that we're getting free food, I think.
Okay. What?
Yeah, I believe they're bringing some food up. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the official chefs of the arena, wanted to make us some food. I'm not 100% sure.
What?
Yes, sir. Come on, please. Thank you so much. Chef. Thank you so much.
What is
Hell
that?
yes. Okay. Chef Albano.
You got it.
Chef Albano, can you turn it right over here, face this way, so we can get you on camera, showcase that beautiful face, Chef. Chef, what do we have here surrounding the Larry O'Brien Trophy?
So Levy's bringing it to the table today to support this wonderful championship run here. We got some awesome food.
Hell yeah, Levy. Thank you, Levy.
We're going to start out with our three-point combo. You've got Italian meatballs, Italian beef, and chicken parmesan.
Oh, three-point combo. This is Steph Curry and food.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we got our Indiana pork stir. We've got a grilled brat, bacon jam, a crispy pork tenderloin, bacon, and a little bit of spicy brown mustard on there.
Oh, yeah. This sandwich has a bone in it. I don't think that is.
No, I have to do a little demo here for you, Pat.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let's make sure the camera gets it because it feels like this meat might be moving. Go ahead.
All right, so we've got a 1 pound brontosaurus bone here.
Okay.
Slow smoked overnight. We're serving it on the bone, but watch this.
Watch this.
Let me see.
Yes, Mooney's
Chris Angel. That was insane.
Hey, good meat bone.
Right off the bone.
Bop that wood. Bop that meat.
All right, right here. This is from our friends from Smoking Goose just down the street, locally crafted. Pork belly and cheese curd sausage. Killer.
Wow. Pork belly,
Designer glizzy.
Yeah, that is super glizzy. And
last item here, a little different. This is a tuna pokey nacho.
Oh.
Tuna pokey. Really tasty.
Not the hokey pokey.
That's some fresh tuna.
The tuna pokey nachos. These look delightful. Chef Albano, thank you so much for bringing these out. Thanks for sliding your meat off there.
Hey.
And this is unbelievable work by you guys and the entire crew.
Thank you. Go Pacers!
Yeah. Thank you, Chef. Thank you, Chef.
Chef got some pizzazz to him.
He does.
Yes, sir. Good hat.
Love his meat.
Where did they fly the Italian food in from?
There's no Italians really out here in Indianapolis, but
Gary.
Who would I be not to eat Chef Albano's meat here before we get out of here? We have about 8 more minutes here on ESPN before we go digital, and what I want to let you know is going to happen in the digital portion of this. Q-Rich is going to try to accomplish the impossible, which is make a few shots in the wind, which I've heard is going to be a difficult task.
Feels like it's died down.
We'll also talk to the co-host of the Knuckleheads podcast, legend Darius Miles, who is here. And we'll also break down everything else happening around the sports world. Before we head off to Digital Land on this beautiful NFL Finals Wednesday, June 11th, let me take down this slow roast overnight meat that Chef Albano brought out here. Would you like to try some of this kosher meat?
I think DB wants to try the designer glizzy.
Yeah, designer glizzy. Here's a little pork tendy with a little bacon mash.
Swine, my brother.
Here's a 3-point meat for you. And then there's
they got
some.
A chicken parm.
This is the tuna hokey pokey, which I think we should keep right here. I think we should keep that probably in here.
Okay.
Cheers to Chef Albano. Cheers to the Pacers. Cheers to the city of Indianapolis.
Cut this.
And we appreciate the hell out of the free food.
Pick it up and just
I'm supposed to just pick up the entire. Yeah. They don't cut this thing. Or?
No.
I believe that tuna is actually fresh catch from the canal as well.
Well, you don't want to go in that canal. Just a heads up, it's a direct path to jail.
Oh, okay.
From what I've been told.
Even if you didn't go in?
Allegedly. Allegedly. There is a story. Never mind. Let's talk about some good shit happening around the world. Jeffrey Lurie owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, is donating $50 million to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia for an autism research and development. Thank you, Jeffrey Lurie, for doing that. Especially with how much we're learning about autism and the numbers of people that are having this at it's more rapid now than ever before. Jeffrey Lurie putting up his own money, $50 million. It's the largest donation, obviously, in this field. To do some research behind it and hopefully combat it a little bit is a beautiful thing. I always like when rich people do the right thing.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Definitely. It is, like you say, autism is a huge thing, and we're becoming more educated about it, so that's definitely to a good cause.
Especially as somebody who has a 2-year-old. You know, I have a daughter, and hopefully continue to grow the family. It's like these are always things you got to think about now with, like, her development and other kids that you meet. How's it going? Jeffrey Lurie said, let's at least try to play a little defense against it. I love that. Not always are billionaires, philanthropic with their money. A lot of billionaires potentially do things to offset other stuff, and they don't actually want to give. This feels like something of a genuine want. This is just like how Jim Irsay operated, and I think if you listen to the speech that was given at the funeral with a lot of the other owners, there was a lot of people saying, like, hey, if you have the means, you should. That's kind of what Jim Irsay operated like, and I love to see other owners doing it as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, like you talk about it, and it's definitely growing and growing and growing. 50 million, I assume, is going to go a long, long way. You talked about it being the highest donation of all time for that. Like owners, like was he at the funeral?
No, I do not believe he was.
Because I was saying, I wonder if he was,
little inspiration.
Moved by it. Yeah.
Little draw, little inspiration. I hope that comes, and I hope the world continues to get better by people who are in a position to make the world better. Let's talk about some good stuff happening in baseball. Did you hear about a home run robbery? Ty, I believe there is a highlight maker playing baseball right now.
Yeah, Denzel Clark for the Oakland A's is an absolute beast. You can see this is Nolan Chanel. And this might be the best catch in the last 50 years of baseball.
Filthy.
This dude got called up like 3 weeks ago. Like I think, like May 26th maybe was his first day in the bigs. He's had 3 of these highlight catches already. Here's another one against Toronto. I believe he's actually from Toronto. Just robbing another homer casually. Like, you see the first one and he makes that one, which is an incredibly tough catch. He makes it look so easy. And then the last one, everyone talks about that one against the A's being the best one. I think this is his best of the 3 against the Orioles. Just full send right into the wall.
Broke the wall.
Yeah, exactly. And to hold on to the ball through that, like, this guy is arguably already the best center fielder in baseball. He's only been in the show for like 3 weeks. So the A's absolutely stink. So this is kind of the only thing to watch when you're looking at the Oakland A's.
The pitcher's reaction every time is awesome.
Yeah, the pitcher knowing that they just gave up a home run or a big hit and then him saving their life is fantastic. Same pitcher on 2 of them and then a new one.
Yeah.
So they love this guy. So this is Golden Glove award
Without
stuff?
a doubt, yeah.
And is there a Golden Glove at every position?
Yes.
Okay, so if he doesn't play the entire season, you said he just got called up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Is he still in contention for set awards because of the highlights and because of how he played?
So Golden Glove is more like fielding percentage. They definitely like take into account guys making plays like this, but it's pretty much like how clean is he going to play. If he's not having a bunch of errors and he has a high fielding percentage, then he'll have a good opportunity. But obviously, for baseball, you make a couple catches like this and kind of get on everyone's radar. Yeah, there's a good chance that he's going to win a Gold Glove this year.
And they're playing in a minor league park this year, right?
Correct.
Okay, so he's climbing minor league walls. I can't wait to see him climb all the walls.
Jeez. Yeah.
Maybe get some pinstripes on him, huh? Or Pittsburgh Pirates.
We're okay with our center fielder right now. His batting average is absolutely dog shite, so he's kind of a one-dimensional player at the moment, which is okay. It's okay because he's in Oakland. But yeah, why not? I'll take pinstripes on him.
Q-Rich, you live in Florida. Do you golf at all?
A little bit. I'm toying with it, getting better.
Okay, you know what's happening this weekend?
I do not.
The hardest tournament of the year is happening in the beautiful eastern hills of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the U.S. Open. In Oakmont, a place that you used to caddy at as a young buck, is primed and ready to kick some golfer ass this weekend.
Yeah, I caddied there going into my senior year of college. Unfortunately, drank too much.
Did you do this?
No, I did not. The greenskeepers are the highest of high jobs there. They're held to a different standard than the caddies. But they've talked about all week long how the rough is insane. There's videos of all the golfers dropping it in the rough and not not being able to get out and stuff like that. There was a golfer yesterday who putted it on 1 down the hill, 120 yards to about 3 feet. All the golfers are saying that this is the hardest course that they have ever played. Rory said he shot an 81 here last week and didn't think he played very bad. He said he birdied the last 2 to shoot 81. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. The dentist, the dentist Matty Vogt leads everything off tomorrow morning with the first tee shot, so that'll be fun. But yeah, it's going to be awesome all weekend long in Oakmont, PA. 90% of the course, though, is in Plum, PA. It's just so everybody knows.
So everybody knows Plum Senior High School is where the ballers ball and the players play.
Yeah,
always. Just know that. In the East Hills of Pittsburgh, they will host the U.S. Open this weekend. Scotty Scheffler, the odds-on favorite because of how great of a golfer you have to be to win any U.S. Open. We continue here in Indianapolis, Indiana, as the NBA Finals are here for the first time in 9,126 days. We appreciate all these people hanging out. We appreciate you watching at home. We'll continue on YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and TikTok Live. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Pacers in 6. We'll see you tonight.
Not too many of those.
Connor really got him going.
So Connor, now it's just us. Now it's just us.
Yeah.
Now it's just us. We're no longer on TV. We're no longer on the airports, televisions across the country, cafeterias, and all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like they performed better in the second hour? I think the fans had a great hour.
Yeah, no doubt they performed better. But when we're talking, like, I don't want to take lines from her already, but Carly Ursay Gordon, right? She said the standard's the standard, okay?
Oh, I thought Evan Cohen said that.
No, sorry.
Evan Cohen said that.
That was Dan Orlovsky from Evan Cohen. A little different. I would never say what Dan says because he is such a potty mouth, for one. But 2, I hate the guy. But think about 3 here, okay?
You don't
the standard. You never know.
We all hate Dan.
Depends on the day.
I love
the standard's
Dan.
the standard, okay? So what the Pacers fans have done, which has been great, it can't be the same because we're talking about the Thunder fans who are way up here, levels above everybody, which is just what people have said. I'm not saying that. The old basketball coach, Rick Carlisle, said that too. These fans are different. So if Indiana wants to get there, they got to be different. The whole "let's go Pacers," it only works so many times. They better have a different type of chant.
Listen to this. Indy. Not bad. Pretty daunting.
Not bad at all. Are you going to be out there?
Indy. Oh, shit. That's what SGA said.
You leading those?
Indy. Coach Dags is like, turn it down in here.
I hope so.
I've never heard that before, actually.
They get a little louder every time, too. I like it.
Indy. You feel that, Q-Rich ain't making shit.
I like it. I like it.
I hope so. If Dagano knows anything about coaching, which he does, he's going to have them ready for...
Did the Clippers even have fans? I can't remember.
Damn.
Hey, come on, don't do that. We had fans. I mean, we were the little brothers. We were in the background while the Lakers were winning 3-peats, so we got it. But, we started a little movement, and now you see what's going on now.
The wall. You been out to the wall?
Uh-huh. No, me and D Miles got a lot to do with the early years.
I was in the Intuit Dome Saturday. This past Saturday, I was in there. I'll
Phenomenal place.
Yes, and Ballmer's focus on toilets. I had to run and go to the bathroom during show.
Didn't miss a moment?
Not a single. There was no line because I have to go to a place in the arena, normally closest to the commentator's desk. I'm going into the public's bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm going to the bathroom with the WWE Universe during most shows. Have somebody with me? Are they security? Not really. Okay,
Right.
they're just like kind of a producer. It's running alongside of me. So we run in there. Normally everybody's kind of blindsided by it, like whoa.
Right.
And I'm like, excuse me, can I get in front of you to piss? Because there's normally a line or whatever. Have to have that conversation every single week. Ballmer's place, no lines.
Wow,
of course.
So many toilets.
Right in there to pee.
On people and seats.
It might have been the greatest, most convenient arena I've ever been in my entire life. Does that mean the Clippers are ever going to win or no?
I hope so.
I hope so for Ballmer.
They deserve it. Sure. I mean, Ballmer too, but I mean the people that have been there for a long time. You know how it is in these organizations, man. They deserve it. They like when you got to understand when we first got drafted, and you were pro. Think about this. We practiced at Southwest Los Angeles Junior College.
Yeah, you told us about that. Yeah.
Good place.
That's a nice facility.
Yeah. Top tier.
Nice part of town.
Bro, my high school facilities were better than that. I'm not lying. We couldn't take showers after practice. We would have to put towels on our car seats and ride to home and go take a shower wherever you live.
In the NBA.
In the NBA. And then the next facility we got was it was called a Spectrum Club, but it was like basically like a high-end 24-hour fitness or something. It was like you would come out of practice, it'd be like 70-year-olds getting their milkshakes and stuff over here. Like, then they got their own facility.
Yeah, Donald Sterling. That's crazy.
Right?
He spared no expense.
Yeah, I thought
he owned like all of LA, and he still didn't give us a facility. That was
Everyone
crazy
says he was a really good guy.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, it was certain tenants.
I've seen that from the Clippers show.
I was at the ESPYs after that. After the whole
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Sterling.
Yeah.
Yeah, the phone calls and
voicemails.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
We learned a lot about Sterling.
Oh, that was
we learned a lot about him. And Drake was the host of the ESPYs.
Oh, right.
And he sang a song, "Sterling Never Loved Us," or something like that. And everybody started singing. And I'll tell you what, I became an enemy where I was sitting. I want to let him know I'm not on Sterling's side. I'm on everybody. It might appear. I understand. It might look as if I am not. He didn't love me either. This guy. I don't think he loved anybody. To hear that you guys were practicing in a junior college gym, though, that is a wild thing. That's like what was happening in Cincinnati for a while. Cincinnati Bengals for a long time had to travel down to the University of Cincinnati to practice in their bubble. So they were in the Super Bowl. They were going to play in the Super Bowl against Los Angeles Rams. Won the AFC. Improbable win with Joey Burrow being a dog. It snowed so bad they didn't have an indoor facility. They had to travel to the University of Cincinnati down the street to prepare for the Super Bowl, to play the biggest game that you could potentially be in because they didn't have anything. They have since put up a bubble, so they have an indoor facility.
Okay.
New people in charge. They've obviously paid Jamar Chase. They've paid D. Higgins. They paid Joey Burrow. They have a team that's ready to go. Now we're learning about the Shamar Stewart situation where they're putting a clause into the contract that nobody else has. We talked about this yesterday because Florio has reported the inside look at why Shamar Stewart hasn't signed with the Cincinnati Bengals fans. And we just read this, talked about it, talked about how ridiculous it was. Cincinnati Bengals fans are not happy with us talking about this.
Oh, what else is new?
They're not happy with us talking about this at all. They're saying that we are a part of the problem, that we are the ones that are just blindly following. I believe I was called a bootlicker by some of these Bengals fans.
Come on.
And I'm like, what are you doing supporting a team that didn't even have an indoor facility when your team was in the Super Bowl and now trying to wedge a clause in that nobody else does? And also with Trey Hendrickson's situation. Now, they clearly point out TJ Watt's not at minicamp. Are you going to talk about that? We have. Yep. But Trey Hendrickson has come out publicly and said, hey, let's get this sorted. The Bengals are right back into a Bengals situation. I feel like Duke and them will be able to figure it out, especially with this new Bengals feel. But it's wild that they seemingly go through the stuff that nobody else goes through.
Also, TJ's going to get paid, okay? It feels like Trey may not get paid. Our owner, the Steelers owner, didn't come out and say, TJ should be happy with what he's getting paid right now. The Bengals, they did do that. And it's not like this is a one-off with Trey and with Shamar Stewart. This has been a long, long time. Remember, they were charging $700 for the watch parties and stuff like that. You talked about the indoor facility. But this is not a one-off for the Bengals. It's not like we're making shit up and, they've been this first-class organization for the longest of times. So the Bengals fans are the worst. We've said that many times. They're the worst fans in the NFL. I think we can agree with that.
It's coming from a Steelers fan.
That guy in the Bengals jersey gave me a thumbs up. He's like, "You're right." So, this is.
I don't think
classic.
I think you're a good fan. Well, now with that being said, it does feel like your fans.
They get disrespected the easiest.
The softest.
Yeah. I don't want to say the softest either because they're Ohio, so I don't want to say they're soft, but they do feel personally offended a lot for things that they shouldn't be offended by. They should be asking the same questions we are of their ownership, but I think they feel a loyalty to ownership to fight, and they do for a lot of things that they should not be fighting for, I think, personally.
It's also not their
fault.
fault.
Not having an indoor facility, we were getting attacked for mentioning that. It's like, you should not be attacking us. We are trying to make your team better here. Every other team in a four-season climate has an indoor facility in 2020, 2021. So, you guys not having it, you shouldn't be attacking us for pointing this out. You should actually be wondering why your team that you care so much about is doing things at that level. That's how I feel. But some Bengals fans are like, nah, there's no reason to attack us. Shamar Stewart's lucky to be a Bengal. He should want that clause in there. And if you can't play, you shouldn't be paid. It's like, well, nobody else is doing that. well, that's because the Bengals are smarter than everybody. It's like, that's not how it works.
This is a perfect example of them bringing it on themselves as an organization. You talk about the Shamar Stewart situation. Like, this is something we all know is going to get figured out, but it's not like they're debating between or negotiating between $5 or $10 million a year on a contract. This is something going into a rookie contract, and you're trying to put a brand new clause in this guy's contract that you've never done with anyone else before. And then if you look at this prospect specifically, off the charts talent-wise, but didn't have a ton of production in college. You draft him in the first round. So this is a guy that needs every rep he can get in the offseason, and you're going back and forth about something that's going to get figured out. The TJ Watt situation, we see this type of situation in the NFL and the NBA probably every year when it comes to trying to reset that market or get up to a number that has reset the market. So that'll get done, I think, as well. But this Shamar Stewart situation is just another thing in a long line of bungled mishaps.
Whoa.
By the way, the last time TJ sat out mandatory minicamp, he kicked the door down to get his deal done, and then he set the record for most sacks in the season.
So you should do it again.
Look for that.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers, quarterback too.
4-time MVP, Aaron Rodgers.
5-time.
You're singing quite a different tune. It seems like this week.
5. Well, that's my quarterback. I'll take a bullet for that guy.
I did tell him that I didn't want to phrase it as if you win because I didn't want to add any negativity.
Sure.
But I texted him. I said, when you win for the Steelers, that city will murder people for you for the rest of your life.
That's right.
He has not responded, but I know the message got through.
Okay.
I was super worried. I sent it in this weekend. There was an article about a 41-year-old man who died doing ayahuasca down in Peru or something. I was worried it was Aaron for a second, but then they tweeted he was at camp. So, we're good.
T's and P's.
That was right next to each other.
I do wonder if we're still ayahuascaing.
I think he may have closed that chapter. He's a married man now.
Yeah.
He found himself.
Unless he got married to the mother.
Mother Aya.
Mother Aya, yeah, committed his life.
I didn't even think about him marrying ayahuasca.
Yeah, there's a chance.
If he's happy, hey, we're happy for you, Aaron.
Do you do NBA guys do ayahuasca?
I don't know what that is.
See? Yeah.
You don't know what that is?
No.
It does feel like quite a Caucasian thing.
Yeah.
So,
Jordan Poyer.
Oh, true. Jordan Poyer's big advocate of it. Basically, you go down into the jungle, okay, and there's some teas that are created by a natural ayahuasca plant down there. And basically, it is a spiritual experience that is to reset kind of how you view life and change perspective. I guess it's been happening for hundreds, thousands of years or whatever. Aaron went down there. I think he was looking for some answers, looking for a different light. I think a lot of military folks do it. A lot of people with PTSD do it. It's been around a very long time. I think you go through a lot to get to the point of the DMT being released and you getting to the life-altering experience. But I think it's it's coming out of the attic and the basement. I think you're
same time
experience.
Same time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Euphoric.
Yeah.
We're talking.
I'm good.
But it changes your life, and I think Aaron gives a lot of credit to it for changing his mental and his perspective on things. And after he did it, he wanted to win the MVP 2 times.
Yeah.
So it's like he's a big advocate for it. I don't think everybody's just supposed to do ayahuasca, but I do believe if you have some stuff going on, it has been an answer for some people, and for others, not.
No.
I don't know if I have the commitment to do it.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
No, I take an edible and I have to call an ambulance, so I don't think I should be doing ayahuasca.
Your heart does say, get me out of here.
Weak mind, weak heart. Can't be doing.
Strong man.
Thank you. That's what they say.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a basketball legend. Everybody knows his name. What you don't know is the fact that he has a size 18 shoe, and he's had that since he was 16 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, co-host of the Knuckleheads podcast, legend Darius Miles.
No shake. I ain't shaking your hand.
Yeah, you didn't. Put this over your shoulder here. Yeah.
Boom.
Boom. Hey, you didn't want to walk all the way down there because the knees are hurting?
Yeah. From yesterday. You know, he bone on bone. No cartilage in either. Yeah.
Ooh. How tall are you?
6'9".
Okay, let's talk about it. How tall were you in 6th grade?
About 6 foot 5'10", something like that.
6'5"?
Nah, about
6th grade.
About 6th grade, about 5'10", 6 foot around that time.
And whenever you got to high school at the age of 16, you had a size 18 foot.
Yeah, when I was wearing the 18 when I was like in 6th, 7th grade.
So we all knew you were going to grow into it and become this massive man.
Yeah.
And on the basketball court in high school, obviously McDonald's All-American, superstar, legend, went to the NBA out of high school.
Yeah.
You kind of knew that, everybody knew that whenever they were kind of directing you as a high schooler?
People used to say it, but where I'm from, you can't believe it until it be right in your face, in front of your eyes.
How was the NBA experience as a high schooler?
It was great. I had the opportunity to get drafted with Q. We got the opportunity to go to the same team. So after the draft, our first private jet, we got on the jet, flew from Minnesota to LA, and it made it an easy transition having Q and Keon and Corey and these guys that I played against or was bigger brothers to me, being the opportunity to play with them.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being 18, 19 years old. Like Miles Turner's been here for 11 years, and he's 29 years old. So he literally came to the city as an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, given a lot of money, given a lot of expectation, and then also a huge workload, which is what the NBA is. 82 games, traveling on the road, everything like that.
Yeah.
What doesn't get talked about enough, you think, about the NBA experience? Is it how grueling and grinding the entire season is? Because I don't think that gets chatted about. Because of how big you guys are, with how much you have to run and travel and rest, let alone on planes with you eating your knees, like everything you do. Is that kind of not talked about enough, you think?
No, it's not talked about. I think I seen something with Paul George where this year his body just wasn't working right for him, where he couldn't really get the opportunity to get out there and play. You don't know the strain and the wear and tear you give your body. You have to eat right. You have to get your proper rest. There's a lot of stuff that come with it that you don't see. You just see when the game come on at prime time and you expecting us to deliver, and sometimes your body just won't let you deliver.
How about the ayahuasca? You do that?
Who?
Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, D-Miles, Cooper Fly's going to come in at 18 years old. I think he obviously reclassified to go to Duke, and now he's going to be one of the younger guys picked one, it feels like, in recent memory. How long is it going to take? Because with Wemby, it was kind of a, hey, get ready, Wemby's coming. But now it's been 2 years. The Spurs haven't been in the playoffs. Obviously, he missed everything after the All-Star break last year. But it feels as though a lot of times, especially with those top guys, if you're not good immediately, it's what the hell is going on with this guy? How long do you think it'll take Cooper Flag to kind of get to a level that everyone's like, okay, he's arrived? And what is the biggest learning curve, you think, from high school to the NBA? Is it all the time you have off? I know Pat and D-But have talked about it with the NFL.
A lot of free time.
After that first season, you got free time. But what is the biggest difference, you think?
I think the best thing for Cooper Flag is that the Dallas Mavericks got the #1 pick. Me and Q got drafted to the worst team in the NBA. These guys won 17 games out of 82. Him giving the opportunity to be coached by J. Kidd, have AD there, have Kyrie there. A team that's ready to win now, it's an easier transition to kind of plug him in and not have a big expectation for him right away. Like if he would went to Utah or the Wizards, everybody expects him to come in, average 30, triple doubles and all that stuff, and it was going to be hard because they were going to get in their butt whooped. So, you know what I'm saying? The best thing he got in this situation is the Dallas Mavericks and stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Like, you had to put on weight. You had to put on weight to compete with them. But this day, it's more about a skill. It's more on the perimeter. Even the centers play on the perimeter and shoot jumpers.
Love it or hate it?
The game?
Yeah.
I love the game. I love every stage of the game. From the 70s, from the 80s to the 90s to now. It's just, it's evolving. I wish I could have got a chance to play in this.
We not the OGs on the porch saying, get off my lawn. We like all versions of the hoop. We like all versions. We understand.
Yeah, this game caters to what I did when I came out. I was a tall 6'9" guy who can dribble, play on the perimeter, was fast.
He would be nuts in this era.
It caters to my game. Like, I was more of the prototype coming off of KG, getting drafted at 96. To me getting drafted in 2000, to seeing the Kevin Durants and these guys that being 6'9", that can shoot, dribble, and do everything.
Size 18 foot shaking people would be wild to watch.
Insane.
Yeah, I assume those things Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bopping wood.
Bopping wood.
Bopping wood for sure. Bopping wood for sure. Go ahead, Ty.
I guess this is for both you guys. Did you have any idea of the cultural impact this was going to have when you started, that you'd have, like 6th graders in Iowa, white kids who went to Catholic school doing it after?
That's Ty.
Yeah,
He's talking about Ty. He's talking about himself.
We were all doing it.
Facts.
It was the tightest shit ever. Did you guys have any idea that was going to take off the way it did?
No, we didn't. But one thing I do appreciate about this era, because we got like kind of how AI got crucified for the things he did with the tattoos and the cornrows. We got kind of crucified for celebrating when we was one of the worst teams, in the league. So we didn't have the best of record. We had a decent record. We was coming up, but we celebrated on teams. And, back then that was more offensive to teams. Like, teams took that a certain kind of way. But if you look at the league now, guys got their own signature celebration. Yeah. They celebrate after every three-pointer, throwing up threes, all that stuff. So I just feel like we just helped the culture out transition to another level.
And we really didn't know, like you say, how the reach of it. It was no social media, none of that. So we didn't know until you come back all of these years later, and we create a podcast based on that, and you see the response. That's when we really got to see, damn, they was really, rocking with us. And then everybody doing that, throw one up, do one. It's yo, that's crazy. And then, like you say, hella stories about guys that are now young adults or full adults that was yo, man, my whole 6th, 7th grade team used to do that. Whether it's, people, we had a big following in Asia. They was making comic books of us over there that we didn't even understand what they were saying because it was all in Japanese and stuff like that. So it was it was looking back in hindsight and coming to the point, it was damn, we really had a lot of people running around doing that, and we had no clue.
One of the greatest celebrations of all time. I mean, easy to do and looks cool.
Yeah.
Easy to do and looks cool. How do you feel about John Morant's grenade? Well, I'm sorry, not grenade. He's taking the words other people are saying, throwing them out, and then he doesn't want to hear them. He doesn't want to hear it. We love it. We actually did a full brainstorm for him whenever there was a conversation about him no longer doing the gun. We said, listen, we need John Morant playing. We don't need suspensions.
Yeah.
We don't like that you're being unfairly targeted in your eyes, but this is your life. You got to deal with it. Get a sword out.
Yeah.
Chop somebody's head off.
Slice the head off.
Yeah,
anything you want to do.
I'm a big John Morant fan. It was cringy when I seen it for the first time. But I just want the grenade.
No, it's the throwing of the words.
No, I thought it was going to be another suspension. I'm glad it wasn't. I'm like, y'all, I just want to see the kid play and be great.
I want to see him get back to superstar status, because he has the game. He has the aura around him to be there, and just leave all the stuff off the court alone.
Agreed. We need him as a superstar. Keep doing your thing, John. Darius has a question.
Yeah, speaking of kind of off the court Jordans, he talked about the cultural impact of the celebration. We know the cultural impact of Jordan. You guys been Team Jordan for a long, long time. How did that come about, and what was that like? Yeah, number one, how did that come about? I want to know how did that come about.
We doing our draft, and when we was getting drafted, we always been Nike guys, so we expected to be with Nike, but back then the shoe contracts and stuff wasn't big. It kind of hit a little point at some point. So A&1 was sending us a bunch of gear. A&1 was just trying to get everybody. So they was sending us a bunch of stuff.
Flooding.
So we had so much stuff that only thing you could wear was A&1 because they were sending it every day. So we went to Santa Barbara camp. We was going there since high school. Every summer we going to Santa Barbara.
Michael Jordan Flight School.
Flight School. So we get to Santa Barbara and Mike see us with the A&1 girl, and he was like, man, I thought y'all was Nike guys. We was like, yeah, but they ain't giving us no deal. We thought we was going to get a deal too. And he was like, yeah, I don't know about y'all wearing that. So he's like, all right, I'm going to make a phone call for y'all. So we went back to the hotel. Next morning, our agent called us, was like, man, what y'all do? He was like, what? He was like, man, Nike just sent me a contract where they're going to pay for your endorsement, but you're going to be sponsored by Jordan. And the roof went off after that.
Oh, yeah.
It was another knock at the door, and we getting 5, them old school TV boxes that was like this, 5 boxes full of just Jordan.
Jeez.
My grandmama was wearing Jordan. How much Jordan we was getting.
That's crazy.
Let's talk about the Knuckleheads podcast a little bit. How often do we release them? Q Rich, how long has this been going, and what is the plan?
I don't know when we started it. I get asked that a lot.
We started 5.5 years ago.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, so right now we in the middle of renegotiating our contract. We are no longer, we had 5.5 dope, amazing years with the Player Tribune, but now we are leaving the Players Tribune, and we are in the midst of signing with new folks.
Oh, this is up to something season.
Yeah,
up to something season. Okay, I like that.
We looking for, these NBA type deals, free agents.
Let's talk about some of the free agents. Giannis is going to be moving potentially. I guess that would be a trade, not a free agent. Miles Turner is about to be a free agent. He's about to get paid here. Kevin Durant potentially on the move. What are your thoughts on any of the big names that could be, shifting?
I feel Giannis should stay. I always felt LeBron Cleveland championship was always bigger than any other championship he won in any other city. When you win a championship in a smaller city, it means more. It's almost like that's a 2-3.
Hell yeah.
It almost means like one championship is like 2-3 championships in a smaller field. And I feel like he can get the most money in Milwaukee. They will eventually build something around him, and I think it'll be good for him to stay.
All right, we appreciate the hell out of both of you for traveling up here. Q Rich, will you shoot a couple shots here for maybe some giveaways? Where do you want to shoot from? Would you like to shoot from the stage? Would you like to shoot from down on the court?
No, I'm going to shoot from down on the court. I ain't like you. I ain't nice like that.
Oh, okay. Well, before the show started, I had to test the waters a little bit. The hoop looks big, Q Rich. I think your microphone works down there too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to head down?
Mobile.
All right, Q Rich.
Yeah, it was working.
Here's what we're doing, Q Rich. D Miles, anything to say to Q Rich before he attempts to win some people some money?
This is my oldest. This is my oldest boy.
You see what you started, Pat?
Bop the wood.
Pat, do you hear what you started?
Yeah, this is my oldest boy, so I got a lot of faith in him.
Darius has faith in him. Q Rich, hold on one second.
Bouncy ball.
That's a
Think about it.
that's a rubber ball.
Yeah, very bouncy.
Rubber ball. A little bit windy, we will say. There's a little bit of a breeze.
You got double rims out here. That's okay.
Yeah, double rim makes you a better shooter. You will have we have 5 balls here. How many shots will you make? 2?
I hope.
2 of 5?
You got the high school three-point line?
Yeah, that's a high school 3.
Where am I shooting from? I'm just starting.
You pick.
I don't care. Where you want me to shoot from, Black?
That's not me. Is he talking to me?
Two of them. 3-point line.
Might be.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, hold on. What's his nickname? Just so I know who we're talking to.
This is Darius Miles, a.k.a. the blackest one.
Okay.
Well, when he was in the perfect score, his co-stars all went on to become Marvel, Captain America, and Marvel heroes. So we was wondering why they didn't bring him and make him a superhero. So I donned him as the blackest one. That's his superhero name.
Okay, shout out. I don't know how to operate.
He was stuck right there. I could be a part of his faction.
I don't want to point things out. I'm not saying it.
It's okay to say the blackest one.
The blackest ones, the blackest 2s.
Yes,
damn right.
Yeah, blackest 2.
Maybe 3.
We stick together.
Superheroes. We got 1 blend milk and blackest 2. Anyways. He thinks you're going to make the shot.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not saying it. Is that a good shot for you? Because I need to judge how many you're going to make, how many shots, what's the number 2 make for the giveaway. I need a lot of information here.
Out of 5 shots?
Out of 5 shots.
I think he's going to make 2 to 3.
Okay, so the over.
I took the ring off
because of the ball. Because of the ball.
The ball is terrible.
Okay, it's a rubber ball. Yeah. So if you make
that's terrible.
If you make 3, Q Rich, if you make 3 of these shots, we will give 30 people $500 who are currently watching at home. All you have to do is use the hashtag Pacers in6 and screenshot the screen after he makes 3 out of 5. Q Rich, I would like to wish you luck, sir, as you attempt the impossible. With the wind the way it is.
Do I get a
with
warm
the
up?
sun, would you like a warm up?
I'll take one more, just to see what's going on.
If your warm up doesn't go in, I'm to the show, Now I'm back to the show. It was great talking to you guys, though. Nobody else could hear us. If you would like to take the warm-up, it will not count if it goes in, though. We have to have some sort of rules and regulations here.
That's cool.
Okay, so you would like a warm-up?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Q Rich, a man who is a three-point shooting champion in the NBA, is opting for a warm-up to kind of gauge the wind. Go ahead.
Yeah. See?
Oh, no. Oh, shit.
Yuck.
Oh,
See?
no.
Hey, get that one out of the way.
Oh,
This
no.
is your guy, Darius?
Hold on, Q Rich.
This is your guy?
Hold on.
Be worried.
Would you
Nah,
like
I ain't
another gauge shot?
Nope.
You would not like another one?
No.
All right, Q Rich, if you go 3 of 5, 30 people will win $500 who are watching at home. Q Rich, all right.
We're okay.
Got 4 shots now.
3 or 4. There's one.
That's in.
Boom.
Okay. He is 1 of 2. Oh.
All right. You make these 2.
Yeah, these next 2 are good.
Good pass in rhythm.
There it is.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No.
Do you feel that, Pat?
The wind has certainly picked up. It is a bit breezy out here at the Bicentennial. Oh, jeez.
Pat, he like an old school car. It just take a minute to warm up. Once again,
Hold on.
get to going.
One more here. Let's see.
That's win. Show him how it's done.
Oh, jeez.
It is Windiana.
Windiana.
A man
And I'm from Chicago.
who's from the Windy City. I mean, we set you up for failure here. It is breezy.
It is.
That's okay. You got to get me back to the Thunderdome indoors to redeem myself.
Hold on, Q Rich. Let's just act like we're doing something here. Okay? Hold on, Q Rich.
Have you tried that tuna yet?
So I think the tuna pokey nachos here are so damn good.
Fire.
Man, what a show it's been, hasn't it?
Yeah.
These people have been great out here.
That meat.
There was good meat slide. Now, to end the show today, I think it's only right that we watch one of the greatest basketball shooters of all time kind of do his thing. We're sitting in the middle of like a 20-mile-an-hour wind right now, 15, 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts out here at the Bicentennial Plaza outside a beautiful Gainbridge Fieldhouse in lovely Indianapolis, Indiana. If you've never been, please come to our city.
Yes,
We are incredibly...
dog friendly. They got dogs out here?
There's a service dog right here hanging out. Put him to sleep.
Dog over there.
But to end this show in this wind, I think if Q Rich is able to make 1 3-point shot,
Okay.
I think 25 people should win $500.
Sounds like it's fair.
This will also be an omen on if the Pacers will win this evening.
Oh, man.
Yes, this is a universe ball and a $500 winner ball.
He's trying to get me booed out of here right now.
Hey, crowd, would you like this to be a universe ball?
Sounds
The
like
crowd
yes.
is in. Unanimous decision. They do want this shot to count. Clearly. One more time, let's take a vote. Would you like the fate of tonight's game to ride on this particular shot here? Yes, they're saying.
I say no.
Q-Rich, thank you so much for doing that. 25 people can win $500, and the Pacers are guaranteed to win tonight. If Q-Rich makes this shot to wrap up this glorious
This time I'm going to get them back.
NBA final.
I'm going to throw these out to everybody.
All right. For the people, Q-Rich.
Guaranteed. Y'all got.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, just like the people said, that shot was not an indicator on what tonight was going to be. Big thank you to Quentin Richardson for joining us today.
Hey, that ball looked like a tumbleweed back in the old school West Virginia.
Feel that, G.
Big shout out to Darius Miles starting by.
Yeah.
Sham Charania stopped by. Jeff Teague was here.
Hell yeah.
Udonis Haslem was here. And all you wonderful people stopped by. We appreciate you so much. Talks the table, great work. AP Tone, good job. Darius Butler, incredible. Back in the truck, good work, boys. Back in the truck.
Are they giving this?
To everybody that set this up, from ESPN and the production crew, Scott with the jib, the whole team with audio, camera, staging, lighting, you name it, we appreciate the hell out of you. Great work. Not easy. To Captain El Nicky, we appreciate the hell out of your service to you, Indianapolis, Indiana. You're the man. Thanks for hanging out up here. And to all you watching at home, know tonight on ABC, in that building right there, there's going to be an electrifying environment. There's going to be a team that wants to get back in the lead of this NBA Finals. And there's going to be a sport played that this state loves through and through. That's a bald head of Q Rich. This is Larry O'Brien. From all of us here in Indy to you at home, sports are amazing. The NBA Finals are tonight on ABC. Go Pacers. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on three. Q Rich, be in the team.
Oh, my bad. I was trying to get some friends back.
Yeah, I understand. Hey, you did a great job today. The Pacers are going to make more shots than you. Thank God for that. Team on three. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.